Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, and welcome back to the channel. We are fresh off a great show yesterday. Hopefully you guys, well, we know you enjoyed it, and those who haven't watched it, make sure to check it out. Like we said, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. But we are here today for the Tottenham fan show. Look, we missed it on Monday. Apologies, but we said we'll bring it to you this evening, and it's only fair. Jacko, how you keeping, my man?
Keeping pretty well, Dave. Keeping pretty well. Looking forward to this one. Kind of a show where we just get to kind of sit back, relax, listen to what the Harris Army has to say, and kind of time for us even to shut up to a certain extent and kind of listen to some new voices, listen to some new opinions, and just see what's kind of been bothering them maybe about Spurs, or kind of just what's been kind of getting them excited, you could say, about Spurs. But looking forward to plenty of different voices we have on. We already have a good queue going, Dave. So yeah, going to be a good fan show, I can already tell.
No, will it will. And look, there's plenty to talk about. I mean, over the last couple of days, Lloris's injury, we don't know whether he's going to be fit for the North London Derby. Look, I have faith in Fraser first. I hope he can come in and do the job. Them Juventus and Conte rumours just won't go away, with some fresh rumours sparking up today. So be interested to see how that plays out over the international break. And, you know, the Leicester game, the change in formation to 3-5-2, so much to talk about for people that want to come on and have their say. But look, let's welcome the people in the chat. We've got Hugo O'Neill. Big yourself up. He says, let's go. Big up, Hugo. Good to see you, my man. We've also got Rufus Roughcut. He says, evening all. He's also on the back end. Big up, Rufus. We've got a super sticker from Dermatron. Just going to check, see what it is. Just give me 1 second now. While I check that.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dave. I have it right here. It's actually kind of a... I don't know, Dave. It's hard for me to come up with something. It's almost like a very kind of pensive sort of kind of animal, or kind of fox, you could say. It seems to be, I don't know, meditating or something. He's just like resting, waiting over international break, perhaps just resting.
Looks like he's trying to squeeze one out, to be honest with you. Yeah. But big up, Dermo. I really appreciate the support. You can explain what it is when you come on, my man.
One way of resting.
We've got Wembley once this evening, boys. We're looking at it this way. At least Tuchel is genuinely a Spurs fan. Yeah, big yourself up, my man. That he is. Catman Jess says, big up the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army. Big yourself up, Catman. Adrian Schrocker says, good evening, all. Good to see you. Big up, Mary W. Great to see you. Pierre OG says, big up, everyone. Thankful for the gift yesterday. Well, Pierre OG, make sure you use it and come on, my man. Treat set you free. Absolute legend. Make sure you use it and come on, brother. Brad Matthews in the chat. Good to see you. And he'll be first on as well. Harris Babu says, come on, you Spurs. Stefan Bloy says, I'm desperate for Megan Fox to sleep with me, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Juve can forget about it. Big up, guys. Big up, Stefan.
Love the confidence, Stefan.
Absolutely love that.
He's not folding, Dave. You could point a gun at his face right now when it comes to Conte, and he wouldn't flinch right now, Stefan. He knows he's staying at the club. Big up.
I love it. Nigel Watson says, hey, all. Big up, my man. Good to see you. Chris says, evening, everyone. Won't be joining you live tonight. Stuck at work, so be in the chat instead. Well, look, you know, big yourself up, Chris. It's got to be done at the end of the day. We all have bills to pay, my man, so big yourself up. What a legend. And, you know, how's Winks getting on at Sampdoria? As he's #1 fan, I'm sure you're fully filled in on what's going on, so let's know what the story is. We've got TC says, big up, everyone. North London Derby next Saturday. Hopefully Arteta is a fraud. Pass it on. Yeah, I sent out an amazing tweet earlier on that basically said that Mikel Arteta, you know, he feels strongly about the rail strikes and better pay and stuff like that. So he's actually going to be leading them, and he's requested to the Premier League to get the North London Derby postponed. And it really wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. There's also a shortage of light bulbs as well, so he's not feeling too confident in his abilities. Mert F says, evening, lad. Hope you're keeping well. Keep up the amazing work. Big up, Mert. Hope you're keeping well, my man. I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm keeping good. How are you keeping, my man? How's that garage? Big yourself up. We've got DDMKTHFC85. Well, that is a tongue twister. He says, why would Conte go to Juve when they've proved they won't back him financially? That is a fair point, my man. Big yourself up.
Letting the confidence.
We've got Ricky Nato, evening brothers, once a Spurs, always a Spurs. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that, Ricky. Big up, my man. We've got Jacob in from United Spurs of America. Big yourself up. Foggy Foams here with us as well.
Big up, Foggy.
Everyone. Thanks, Son G, my man. Big yourself up. Hope you're keeping well. He says, I hope we have no more injuries during the break. I mean, for once, Dark Sun G, just for once, can we have one international break where we get everybody back fully fit? We've got to run, I think, if it's 13 games, including the Carabao Cup games, from the start of October, given if the Arsenal game is not postponed for the rail strikes, all the way through to the start of the World Cup. So we need everybody fit. We can't afford with players coming back with niggling injuries or out long term and stuff like that. Could not agree more, Dark Song G. Big yourself up, brother.
Not off to the best start with Hugo, though, so far. Hopefully we get good news, Dark Song G. Not off to the best start.
True. Very, very true. Big up, Washka. She says, big up, lads. Big up all in the chat, just over from the Three Spurs place. Big yourself up. Great show with Bobby K and Ellie as well. Bobby K, good to see you, my man. I hope you're keeping well, brother. Good show you just done, my man. Peter M says, big up, Dave and Jack. Big yourself up, Peter. Jay Greenham says, boys, the international break's killing me. Yeah, I think it's killing us all. But look, no need to worry. Me and Jack have plenty of content.
That's why you're here, Jack.
Plenty of content coming out over the next week and a half, my man. So, we'll keep you entertained, my man. We will keep you entertained. Big up, Jay. Lots of talking points to still discuss. Zoe says, big up, lads, in the Flat Cap Army. Good to see you in, Zoe. I hope you're keeping well. Dan Davenport says, it's the dynamic duo of Dave and young Jack. Why do I not look young, Dan? I guess I don't look young now, but big up, Dan. Good to see you in the building, and I hope you're keeping well. Haven't seen your name in the chat in a while, actually. How have you been keeping, my man? Dark Song G says it's always the first international break where we get injuries. I think the first international break last season, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, Romero came back injured.
Yeah, if I recall. And did we have like a Lo Celso injury on top of that? Wasn't it like a double kind of a Argentina situation? I mean, when you get one Argentina injury, might as well get two. That's what it kind of was back then in those days. And Dark Sun G, it certainly is. It's cursed. It's cursed. And I think even with how the Hugo situation has begun, I mean, what did we get? 12 hours into it, Dark Sun G, and Hugo gets a scan from some French doctor saying apparently he's going to be out for 3 weeks. But I don't know what it is. Maybe he stepped off the plane tarmac wrong. Maybe something, I don't know what's gone wrong here.
Do you then have questions of our medical team then, Jack? The fact that maybe he was carrying this and it wasn't diagnosed, and then he goes away and the French doctor finds it. Is that a reflection on our medical team?
I mean, listen, Dave, I mean, the medical department has been questioned before under Antonio Conte, and I don't know. It's been questioned a few times, if I recall. So as much as I feel like I know they know what they're doing, and I know they can definitely vouch for themselves better than we can for them, but and we don't certainly know anything that's true. But when you've had kind of some murmurings and kind of some frustration shown in the past from a very experienced manager, I don't know. Perhaps there is maybe something to be said, Dave. But I don't know. That's as far as I'll go. That's as far as I'll say.
We'll wait for more to break. I still don't think it's been confirmed that he misses the North London Derby. I still think it's touch and go, but we'll wait and see. Big up, Dark Song G. Really appreciate the support, brother. Good to see you in. You weren't in last night. You missed an absolute cracker of a show with Ben and Shawnee, my man. Go back and watch it. Absolute cracker of a show. Big up, Dark Song G. Vanilla's in the house, says big up Dave and Jacko. Big yourself up, Vanilla. Matthew MC says evening, big up, my man. We also got Miss, I'm just going to call him Mars. I love this leprechaun. Look, I'm not a leprechaun, but I'll take it. I'll take it, my man. Big yourself up. I've been called a lot worse since I started this YouTube stuff, so I'll definitely take leprechaun, my man. Marlon Green says evening, gents. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Marlon. I hope you're keeping well, brother. Good to see you.
Big up, Marlon.
Wilson T says, big up, chats. Usually talk is all crap. You can tell it's international week. Well, big up, Wilson. Yeah, that's a fair point. It is a fair point, but this also did come out a few weeks ago. But I see what you're saying. Slow news day. Why not put it out there and blow it up? I do get that. Paul G says, big up, lads. Love as always. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Paul G. Really appreciate the support, my man. Good to see you in the building. And how's life? My man. Ian Ferguson's big up, everyone. That was one hell of a fox hunt at the weekend.
Came back with a lot, didn't we, Ian? We came back with a lot.
We ate Saturday night for sure, Ian. We came back with a few foxes, my man. Big yourself up. Andrew McLeod says, come on, you Spurs. Well done, Sonny. It was great for Sonny. I'm buzzing for him. I still don't believe he should have been dropped, by the way. Still not backing down on that. OG Lowe's in the house. Big up, my man. Good to see you. Hope you're keeping
well.
Big up, OG Lowe. Who else have we got? We've got Derek Hutchinson. Great to see you, my man. We've also got Super Tottenham. Good to see you in the building as well. Theo Isaac, great to see you. We've got Luke Donnarumma. Says, why can't Conte just ban all of our players from playing for their countries? I would if I was a manager. Yeah, You can't. Like, your players will become unhappy. You can't really ban them from going away. I mean, most players dream of growing up representing their country and playing in World Cups and Euros and stuff like that. You cannot take that away from them. Take this super chat from Dark Song G. Welcome a few more people in, and then we're going to start getting on the guest. He says, what do you think of Conte Cam and Yaya plus Basuma video? Also, I really hope that we go for Kim Min-jae next year. Forrester is strong versus the Gooners at least. Well, Jack, I mean, what do you think of Conte Cam and the Yaya and Basuma video? I know we were watching bits of that earlier.
Yeah, a very good Conte Cam, if you ask me, Dark Sunji. I did see a tweet even about the Conte Cam where someone basically tweeted what is basically someone paid in order to just basically receive Conte's hugs every single goal celebration. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I do it for free, Dark Sunji. But the way that he jumped into Perisic's arms was simply beautiful. It was almost kind of kiddish like, and it to a degree, it even suggests that those Juve rumors, despite them kind of circling, like you said, Dave, like the guy did look pretty happy once seeing the likes of Sonny scoring, and he did look pretty elated for it. So who knows? A player like Sonny could keep Antonio Conte around, Dark Sunji. And then when it came to the Yaya and the Basuma video, I actually just watched it today, and I really did enjoy it. I thought it was actually really insightful. It sort of showed that it was a really good move by Spurs to bring Yaya kind of into the system and kind of into the framework at Tottenham. I feel like Dark Sunji, I think it was actually whoever sort of engineered that or whoever kind of maybe reached out to Yaya Toure. I think that was a class move because now we can bring in maybe players or at least attract players like Basuma who can maybe see him as sort of a role model or kind of a figurehead that they can kind of learn from, as well as see as a comfortable person to maybe go to in case times are tough. And I'm not saying times are tough right now for Basuma or anything, but some of the things that they kind of spoke about sort of reflected that Basuma is here for a while. He's here to stay, and he enjoys kind of the Tottenham background because he spoke about having to learn new manager system. He spoke about having to learn to play in England versus playing in France and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, Dark Sunji. I think we learned, in fact, a lot about Basuma. And he even actually mentioned how one manager in England made him change his entire play style. So who knows? Maybe he's actually quite comfortable with maybe being on the bench right now and learning Conte's tactics. That's what I learned.
Big up, my man. And look, as for Kim Min-jae, someone also mentioned that earlier on in the comments underneath yesterday's show. Look, I think we do need to get in more cover in here in January, in my opinion. I think I think we have enough to plug ourselves until January, but I think January we need to bring in maybe one or two better defensive reinforcements. And if we can hang in there until January and we get them reinforcements, we can really push on and end this season really well, in my opinion. And maybe who knows where it can take us. As for Fraser Forster, look, put in a worldie against Arsenal last season, so he did. Look, for me, I still think he could be a number one somewhere, and I really like this guy. Lots of experience. My only concern would be maybe a small bit of rustiness when he comes in, and in the heat and the atmosphere of a North London derby, it's not ideal, but I do back this guy to be able to come in and do a job, Dark Song G. Big yourself up, brother, and really appreciate the support, my man. We'll take a few more comments, and then we'll crack on getting the fans on. Joseph Tyler says, big up the Irish Hotspur. Hope you're both well. Do you think Kane will wait to see what happens before he signs a new deal? Of course, 100% he will. Look, Antonio Conte won't sign one until after January, in my opinion. And I think we're going to have to wait for Kane as well, to be honest with you. I don't think he's going to commit himself. Because after Antonio Conte, where do you go? And I don't think he's going to stick around for another project, to be honest with you. So I do think he'll be waiting, my man. Let's see who else we've got. Wayne Holland's in the building. Big up, my man. Good to see you. Mark, knew you were in the back end. What's happened? Get back on, my man. We want to speak to you.
We got you in the order, though, Mark. Don't worry. We got you in the order.
Big up. Says it was reported that Romero had visa problems. Did he still travel to the Argentina game? Do not know, to be honest with you, my man. I do not know. I did not know about that. Gerard Dorelian says, bring Poch back. Yeah, look, if he goes, maybe Poch might come back. We'll wait and see. We've got Sebas Wolf. Good to see you in the building. P Dubs. Looking forward to coming on later, boys. I'll be raring to go after I'm done coaching. Big up, P Dubs. Can't wait to have a conversation with you, my man. Nick Kermalock is with us as well. Kev G, train strikes on October 1st would have called the game off. They called off Palace versus Brighton. Well, it looks like we're just going to have to wait a bit longer for Spurs to play then, isn't it, my man? Slim by Tubbs in the house. Good to see you. We've got one Daniel Sandoval. Big up, my man. Good to see you in the building. Coach TPM says Lloris will be fine. Plus, we have a competent backup keeper in Forest, unlike last season in Galini and the season before with the cricket organiser, Joe Hart. And he says, hey, my wonderful lads from my adopted sons of Ireland and Seattle via New York. Big up to you both. Big up, Ellie. Hopefully we'll be speaking to you on the fan show when you want to come on, my dear. Good to see you in the building. We've also got Carl Higgins as well. Great to see you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And up the Lily Whites. Good to see you, my man. And then we've also got Carl Higgins says, evening, guys. Big up, Carl, my man. Great to see you. But guys, we are going to crack into it. We're going to start getting on the guest. Everyone that, has the memberships, feel free. The link is up in the community section. Simply click on it, get on, come on and have your say. Everybody, don't be afraid to put your thoughts, your opinions on what might be myself, Jack, or the guest have to say as well. And also feel free to smash that like, that subscribe, or super chat if you have anything you want to say and get your comments highlighted and skip the queue in the chat. We'll all have a good discussion on it. But look, Jacko, we'll crack on. We'll get the first guest on. Let's get him on. And it's the one and only Brad Matthews, Blue Sofa Songs. How are you keeping, my man?
I'm fine, thank you. It's Wednesday's the day I normally do my recording. So I'm normally incredibly stressed during the day, but now it's done, I'm quite relaxed. So it's pretty cool.
Oh.
Good.
Relief.
Things we love to see. Well, look, Brad, where do you want to kick this off? What do you want to talk about, my man?
Well, let's forget the Sporting Lisbon game, because that was after the last fan show, and we had a chat about it on your show on that Wednesday. So we'll just park that, just forget about that. Well, only one place to start, isn't there? 6-2 over Leicester with the return of the sun. So yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Do you think Conte was right to drop him, Brad? There's so many say that he was right to drop him, and that's why he got the reaction. And then there's many that say, we should have stuck by him and we shouldn't have dropped him. What's your opinion?
I always said he should be on the bench. I think that people can say, oh, he's going to score, but then we could be saying that at the last game of the season. When you draw the line, I think that was with the rotation. I think it's a correct decision, and I like the idea of him coming on against a team like Leicester, where you could hopefully be 3 or 4 up, and he's against a tiring defence. And I think that more or less is what happened, because they were making so many defensive errors against us. And, I think that the first half was a really strange game. Mm-hmm. It really was. It was sort of like you had the penalty, and then Lloris saved it. And then you think, 9 times out of 10, they don't see the goalkeeper move. This time they did, and had to take it again. Then we equalised straight away. Then we went 2-1 up with 2 set pieces, or from set pieces. Then we got a third from a set piece, but it got disallowed. And then, it's a good strike by Maddison, but that could have gone anywhere. That ball. I mean, you've played football.
What do you make of our defending for ball goals, though, Brad? Because the first one,
it was awful defending, absolutely awful defending. Sessegnon should have got to that header. I was very disappointed he didn't get to the header, because where I sit, you're really looking straight at that, and I thought, he's got this, and he didn't. And then all the marking, was it Dyer's fault? Was it Romero's fault? Were they in the right place? It's pretty poor defending, but we've seen it plenty of times with Tottenham anyway. But 2-2, and then to be fair, Leicester they surprised me. I thought they'd sit behind the ball, but they tried to attack us, and you knew that when they were doing that, there was always going to be a chance.
Yeah.
The good thing was getting the goal early in the second half. That was absolutely brilliant by Bentancur. Bentancur is really quick. I didn't realise how quick he was.
He covers the ground quick, doesn't he?
He gets going.
He got off go, and he just got that ball. And Ndidi's not a bad defender. He just got that ball, and he literally side-footed it in the net, for 3-2. And you think, wow, that was great.
It was very clutch.
And then, of course, from 59th minute, it was the Heung-min Son show, wasn't it? It was just brilliant. And I think everyone, when he got that ball, when he had those 2 defenders, everyone in the stadium was like, willing him, come on. We know he can shoot from that distance. He just hasn't done it lately. And he just, the shot was immaculate, absolutely immaculate. And then, of course, the look, you knew he was just relieved. You just knew. There's no knee slides. It's just standing there like that sort of thing. And it was great. There was about
what 2 seasons. what do you make of the whole team going over to celebrate with Sonny after his first goal, Brad? You could see they were all relieved for him.
We've done that with most of our goals this season. That you know, when they celebrate, they all seem to celebrate together, which is brilliant. There's a young Korean girl about 2 seats away from me, and I only really scored. I thought, well, when Sonny scored, I thought I'd like to give her a hug, but obviously she's a little Korean girl. I'm a 62-year-old man. I can't do that. So I basically tapped her on the shoulder and sort of went like that sort of thing. You know, I felt she looked like she was so tiny and by herself. Didn't seem any friends. I just felt really sorry for her that she might have come over all this way to see Son play, and he wasn't in the first 11.
Yeah,
I felt so good when that goal went in, and of course the second one. I don't know if you've seen the clip of his second one compared with against Lart. Amazing, is he? Identical. But that's what he does. He does that curling, and that's what he does. When he does that, he's on form. And the third goal, I have to say, I didn't celebrate it because I swore blind he was offside. Because I'm sitting there, it went put through for him, and I thought he's offside. And everyone's going, go on, Son, everyone's cheering. And I'm just sort of sitting there like that. And I looked over, the linesman's got his flag up. I thought, yeah, he's miles.
Oh, he was way on. He was way on.
I did. Everyone's going, I said, no, he's miles offside. Miles offside. I hope I'm wrong, but he's miles offside. No way, and he's miles offside. Then it comes up with VAR checking. I thought, okay, no, he's definitely offside. Definitely offside. Everyone, look, he's offside. Come on. And then, of course, the referee does that sort of thing. Hey, it's just brilliant. It's sorry guys, sorry to be wrong, but yeah, it's brilliant.
Let me ask you this, Brad. Does that now make Son undroppable again?
Oh, he'll play against Arsenal without a doubt. Injury permitting, he'll be on the he'll be in the starting line without a doubt. I think that's what he needed. He needed something like that, and now the pressure's off him now. And although he knew that when he's on the bench, there was no pressure on him. Like I said last week, to have the whole game. I've got to score, and he came out there and then they saw him in the interview afterwards, and the smile was back, and he was saying that he'd been getting very frustrated, and you could really tell from watching that, and 6-2, and then you think, oh, we're going to get, we could get more here. And so I was on a show on Thursday night, one of Tommy's shows. There were 5 of us. I think I was the only one. I think me and Tommy were the only ones who predicted a win. The other 2 predicted like a draw and a loss because they thought, oh no, this is Spurs, is what we do. So it's great that we got that victory, 4-2, put us joint top. And then, of course, with Arsenal playing Brentford, I thought that Brentford would go at them, but unfortunately it didn't turn out that way. It was a very, very, you probably saw the game. It was very, very boring, very passive game. I actually had a drinks on Sunday night with a couple of friends who are Brentford fans who had been to the game. And I said, look, what happened? That was just,
they're supposed to do a job for us.
Yeah, there's no atmosphere. It's like, it's complete compared to the other games that I've seen Brentford play on the telly. But yeah, we're in a good position. Sorry.
Let me ask you this. So far into the season, we're unbeaten in the Premier League, but we tend to get a lot of disrespect. No one has any belief in us. Everyone's waxing lyricals about Arsenal, who, may I add, have that one in the L column. Everyone's waxing lyricals about City. I understand that, but nobody seems to be talking about Tottenham. I think we're being shown a lot of disrespect, and no one has belief in us. Why do you think that is? Even though we're unbeaten so far, we've had our best start to the season since for a while now, for a number of years.
Well, not talking personally, not talking about you guys, but I think we generally bring it on ourselves. Twitter, especially after a loss like Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon, but for a bad defender at the corner, it would have been we would have got out with a draw. So, which would have been okay, would have been acceptable. And we just go mad and yes, we do need to play better. Of course, we want to play better, but we're getting results. And I don't go with this. Oh, any other team would have beaten us. We just played these other teams. No, I don't go with that at all. And as for the other pundits and supporters and that I don't really mind them not us going under the radar with them. I don't really care about that because I think that's probably better for us. But with our own supporter base, and we have to see all of the the streams and that sort of thing and Twitter and whatever. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, I'm not saying we're playing brilliantly, but we're winning. We're winning games and picking up points. So it's and we're probably. I say the points we got at the moment of what I would have expected us to get. That's including the draw at West Ham and draw at Chelsea. It's really, it's what I would have expected to get, and we have, and it's our isn't it our best start for God knows how many years and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's the best start for a number of years.
And then if you look at our record over this season and over this year, we're got second most wins, second most goals scored.
Yeah.
So all this talk about, we're not playing well, we're not entertaining, that will come. I'm sure that will come. Now, the interesting thing will be, how does he play against Arsenal? I'm a little bit concerned about when we get overrun in the midfield, but he brought Basuma on against Leicester, and that really helped, having those three in the midfield.
Yeah.
So will he do that against Arsenal? I don't know.
Does that seem like the move in your eyes, Brad, to go with that? Would you like to see that?
I think that and I don't want to be negative, but we must not lose at the Emirates.
Yeah.
We must not lose there. So I would actually be okay to see that. I mean, it might mean you might have to sacrifice someone like Kulusevski, have Kane and Son up top. But I would like them to do that. And I'm not saying be cautious, but just get that added strength. You can still play attacking football. Conte did it with Inter Milan, with Eriksen playing in one of those roles. So, you can still play attacking football. So, yeah, it's going to be a cracking match because we haven't done very well at the Emirates in recent years.
It would be a bit of bragging rights, as I think we discussed on last night's show, Brad. I mean, what do you think? It certainly isn't by any means sort of any physical trophy of any sense, but certainly would be bragging rights considering how long it's been that the opposition has won in the away ground.
I mean, if we win at the Emirates, I mean, that gives us the bragging rights for until the next one, really.
Next time it happens, and you never know when it's going to happen again.
Because it means, it's all like, well, we're winning the league. We played this so well. We've won 6 out of 7 games. And we didn't beat us, did you? So if that happens, that'd be great. And that's why I'm saying we cannot afford to lose. If we lose that game, Twitter will explode. We will never hear the end of it. I'm not saying it's going to end up the end of the season. We'll probably do better than them, but yeah, we'll never hear the end of it. And we've seen it in recent years when we've gone to the Emirates full of confidence and they've trounced us. Admittedly, this season we got a better coach and a better team. Last season we had Conte, Nuno with Skip on the bench. So we have to win. We have to not lose at this game.
We've got to give a much better showing than what we did under Nuno. The showing under Nuno was absolutely disgraceful. 3-0 down at half time. We can't afford to do that again this time round.
It was, and they were up for it. Unlike the game that we played at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, they were up for it in that game, and they're going to be up for this one. I do going forward, looking at the rest of the season. It's interesting to see that on their bench. I don't know how good he is. They had a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old on their bench.
Oh.
So that suggests to me that strength-wise, squad-wise, it's only going to be a few injuries to key players, and they're going to struggle. Whereas I think we, despite what you might think about the transfer window, have got a much better sort of squad, as in the the quality of the players. They're usable. Whereas you can't.
I wouldn't worry about that 15-year-old. That's just Mikel Arteta trying to get his name in the record books for something. Giving the youngest ever appearance to a player. He's just trying to get in the record books.
Well, I have to say, I did laugh at the Arsenal fans. I laugh at Arsenal fans anyway, but they were singing "School in the Morning." He's got school in the morning, which I thought was quite funny. But it's going to be a cracking. It's really weird at the moment. It's like the eye of a hurricane at the moment. There's no football on this week.
The joke's on Arsenal, though, in that case, Brad, though, because they're not even just referring to the 15-year-old. They could be referring to a few other players, having school in the morning, considering the youngest team out there. But yeah, sorry.
But I think that, I mean, I guess there's probably pressure on them because they're at home. They've got to perform. They're all confident. So they think, well, we've got to win this game. So there's a little bit of pressure there. And we tend to be quite measured in the way we play our games, and I think Conte will instill that sort of that calmness. Sorry, David.
I would say to Kieran here, Brad, he poses a good point. He says, the worry is how poorly we played at Stamford Bridge. Is the squad mentality strong enough to get a result at another bogey ground?
Well, we were strong enough at Stamford Bridge to keep in there and get the draw. So yeah, I mean, look, we did play poorly at Stamford Bridge, and I think I can't remember who it was hadn't kicked over the bar, would have been 3-1 down, But no, we did, we just showed a strength there, and we kept going. And, to got 3 corners in a row, okay, you can argue about the pulling of the hair and that sort of thing. But yeah, we stayed in and we got the draw. So, why shouldn't we go to the Emirates and get a result? And why, we played poorly at Stamford Bridge. That doesn't mean we're going to play poorly at the Emirates, does it? It's
true.
You are as good as your next game, So all the other games, they don't mean anything. And it's not like we've got a team there that we know can't get any better. We know this team is not performing at 100%. We can be so much better.
On third gear, yeah,
exactly. So that's what I think is a good thing, and we've got a decent manager, who knows what he's doing. So it's only a week away, isn't it? Only a week and a half away. Wow.
That's if he goes ahead, Brad. He could end up going off with the
two. Well, you know what? I was thinking about that. Now, I think someone in the chat said about the Palace Brighton being postponed. Well, Palace and Brighton, as I don't know if anyone knows, they're big rivals. That's a big rivalry. Yeah, Brighton's a long way from London. Yeah, Brighton's a long way for London. It's a bit of a trip. It's probably about an hour and a half on the train.
It takes ages. I went there when we were from TV away. They never told me how long it was.
Yeah. So, but Arsenal, Tottenham, they're just down the road. You can walk from one ground to the other. So, it's North London. It's not going to cause as many problems as it would be if you were having, say, Tottenham playing, I don't know, Liverpool when they come from up north or whatever. No, you're going to have, obviously both teams have got fans that are from outside of London. Of course they are. But generally speaking, these are two north side. It'd be very, 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 very poor excuse to call that game off. I don't think they will. There's not really any precedence apart from the Palace Brighton game. So, hopefully it will go ahead. I think we've probably heard so by now.
We'll have to wait and see. If we said what Mikel Arteta is doing. He's requested for it to be cancelled, so we'll wait and see. But Brad, you know what's going on over at Blue Sofa Songs? Why should people?
Yeah, Blue Sofa Songs, a new song every Friday at the moment. There's one going up this Friday. It's a little bit different from last week, so I try and vary the songs. This one's a little bit of a introspective, sort of slowy, saddy type song, really. But it's all about. The songs I do are all about how I feel about things or my experience of things, or so generally speaking. So if I've got these, I have to put these songs out there, and that's the idea of the channel is to get my songs out there for people, to see other than myself. So hopefully everyone can click like and subscribe, and the subscribe now on when you watch the video, the subscribe button is in the right hand corner. So you just have to click on that and you're done. I've got 86 subscribers. It's going up gradually. Cool. So I'm looking for 100 subscribers soon.
Big up.
And I'm also looking at maybe going onto TikTok, putting them on TikTok at some stage, but we'll see with that one.
Nice.
But it's good fun, and hopefully people enjoy what they see, and and
we get a good result, Brad. I'm expecting maybe a metal song of some sort after we get a result against the likes of Arsenal.
Next week it will be. Yeah, next week's song will be the pre-North London Derby song. It ain't going to be football related, but I'm intending on doing more of a rocking type song, just something different from the normal rocking lyrics I normally do, political lyrics or whatever they might be. It might be just a straight, hey, let's go and have a bit of fun type song. Yeah. So I don't normally write them, so it's a challenge to write.
I challenge you to write a new Tottenham song, Brad. I challenge
you. Yeah. I mean, maybe I might do one. Maybe for Christmas or something. For Christmas number 1,
Why not? You've got to aim for something. Big up, Brad, my man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
And Paul, thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you so much to people in the chat. Welsh Gal's one of them that always watch my songs and always comment. It's really appreciated. I really do appreciate the comments. That's what they're there for, is to put in what you think of the songs and what you think, or ask me any questions. If you want, you might be interested in what guitar I use. And then again, you might not. So, anything like that. So big up to everyone in the chat and the people that follow the channel and support me. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Big up, everybody. Keep getting over there.
Guys. Keep going.
In the comments, Brad. We'll see you soon, my man.
Yeah. Take care. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Absolutely love it. Everybody, big up, Brad. Get over, check out Blue Sofa Songs. And the Truth Set You Free says, great job with the music. Big up, Truth Set You Free. Him and Welsh Gal head banging around the sitting rooms. Absolutely love it. We've got a super chat here from Dermatron. He says, my fox was bowing. My fox was bowing to the legends that you both are the amount of work and brilliant shows you put on for us fans. So thank you for all you do for us Spurs fans. Well, look, Dermot, I really appreciate it, my man. Look, me and Jack do everything we put out, we do try and do to the best of our ability. And at the end of the day, it's there for people to be able to have their opinions, create discussions, etc., my man. So big yourself up, Dermot, and really appreciate the support, my man.
Really
absolute kind words. What an absolute legend. But look, we're going to keep this just quickly. Claude with a new Sonny song says, "Nice one, Sonny. Nice one, son. Left foot or right foot. Let's have another one." Big up, Claude Murphy. Good to see you. That was these 2 goals when he came off the bench. First with the right, second with the left, showing his world-class ability. But look, let's keep moving. I believe the next one we've got on is Michael. How are you keeping?
Hello, guys. Yeah, I'm fine. Although I'm a bit sick, which you can probably hear by my voice. So
you sound a bit fluey.
Yeah. Just a flu. I have like a runny nose and a bit of a sore throat, but otherwise I'm fine. No.
It's just because you're getting closer and closer to the Gooner game, and you're getting closer to the Gooners. That's all it is. You're getting a bit sick. It's understandable, Michael.
Yeah. Let's hope none of our squad. Yeah, let's hope none of our squad feel the same way as I do right now, right? Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I was thinking about that Leicester game because actually, score-wise, it was brilliant. But there have been plenty of things, in my opinion, that were a bit worrying for me. Because we've been talking about that game, and I said that even though I think that we will win convincingly and we will score a lot of goals, I said that we will concede goals too. And I said that, but I hoped that we will be able to manage Leicester, to shut them down, which we unfortunately weren't able to do. And there have been plenty of situations where if they had a better goal scorer in front of Maddison or in place of someone else, like Daka was their striker.
Yeah.
And Daka is a good player, but if they had someone better, I think that they had that game could have been like 6-4 at least. That right at the end of that match there was a situation which Maddison fluffed. I think it could have been 6-3. There have been plenty of situations in the first half where they could probably score a goal. So looking at that, I am turbo happy that that Sonny scored. I was buzzing because I wasn't at my place. I was at my friend's house, and we put on the match only after the second half started. So I started watching the game at 3-2. And we were talking about it a bit, and he was asking me about Son and what do I think of the whole situation. And I said, I don't know what's going on, but I hope that because he was coming on, I hope that he absolutely smashes it. What else happened? 15 minutes later, he absolutely smashed it. So
before you move on to Sonny, though, I want to ask you: are you concerned about the defensive lapses we keep showing? Because in a lot of the games, we are gifting up a lot more opportunities than what we're actually creating. And if you look at the defensive lapse against West Ham, couple against Chelsea. A couple against Sporting, a couple against Leicester. Are you concerned? And what do you think is the main problem? Where do you think these defensive lapses are coming from? When you look at the game, what do you think the problem is?
I don't want to be rude to our players, but I think it's lack of quality in some cases. Because whereas I think that Romero, you could see that he wasn't at his best, at his top form. And you can link that to the injury that he has had, that he was a bit rusty and whatever, right? But in terms of Dyer, Davies, even Langley, I think that he wasn't good in that game against Leicester. Royal too. I think that they've made plenty of mistakes, which it's hard for me to find another reason other than their personal choices that they did on the pitch. Because I think that the formation that we had, in theory, we talked about it plenty. In theory, that formation is the best defensive formation that you can play, because you have pretty much 5 defenders and two holding mids, right? So in theory, that should be the safest formation that you can play, and we are still making mistakes. But of course, we have been pretty good at defending throughout this season, right? We have 8 matches played, including Champions League, and we have 3 clean sheets, I think, or 4.
But when you
4.
look into them clean sheets, though, one against Nottingham Forest, who have problems scoring goals, one against Wolves, who have problems scoring goals. Marseille were down to 10 men, and who's the other one?
That's 3. That's 3. Because we lost against Sporting, conceded against Leicester, Chelsea, West Ham, and Southampton. We also conceded. And Fulham we conceded too. So yeah, like it's all because of that North London derby. That like the last thing I want to see is us losing there.
We always concede silly goals in that one, which is kind of
I'm not asking for a win. If you told me right now you can have a draw, I would take it without like even thinking. Of course, that there is that chance that we can win there, and it would be a huge thing, right? But I would prefer to have a like guaranteed draw than to risk losing. And as we talked plenty, this game is massive because both teams are on the up, and even though we maybe aren't playing like the best version of ourselves, still we haven't been beaten in the league so far. That Sporting game was, it happened, like shame, but things like that happen, right? But this game would be massive, and it's those feelings creeping in that that I am starting to get worried that last thing I want to see is Dyer shitting himself and allowing Saka to score, right? So
do you know what with Dyer? I actually think Dyer looks a lot better with Romero and Langla, and I'll give him a bit of credit. I think he's been okay this season. I think it's likes of Davies, Sanchez who have let us down at times, in my opinion. But we just got to call out these silly mistakes. Like the whole reason why you see Kane and Son and Kulu sit so back far on top when we're sitting in is to protect that back line. And for me, I think we're just a defender or two away from really tightening up and really pushing on to maybe close that gap on the likes of Man City towards the end of the season. I hope we go again in January. I think it's a must. But I don't know. I think we'll turn up in the Arsenal game. I think Conte will be the difference this time round.
Yeah, of course. Like I will be watching this. I will prepare some good beers, and I will be buzzing, and hopefully then they don't ruin my weekend, because I will be at my family house. I will be watching that game with my brother. He's a Chelsea supporter, but he hates Arsenal as much as me. So we'll be both cheering on Tottenham.
What do you think of the 3-5-2 that was used in the Leicester game? Do you think that's something we can use going forward, or something we can revert to see out games, especially tight away games like that? Where maybe the game is in the balance, it's still a bit tight.
I would say that I really enjoyed how we looked with 3 midfielders. I think that it was brilliant by Conte to secure that game, because when it was 3-2 and before Bissouma came on, that game was shaky as fuck. Like the Leicester were creating plenty of difficult situations to deal with, and I feel like. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think that we can or should start with it, because I feel like we are so defensive most of the time, because when we defend pretty much in a 5-4-1 formation, right? Because like Son and Kulu drop even further down than Kane. Kane is the only man up top, right? And I feel like if instead of Son and Kulu we had another midfielder, instead of one of them we had another midfielder, it would I think it would make it harder for us to transition into a counter-attack. I know that it may sound weird after what happened with Leicester, where we pretty much counter-attacked them 3 times for all 3 of Sonny's goals, right? But I would prefer to start with a 3-4-3 and try to score a goal or 2, and then if the game starts getting shaky, they are pressuring us massively, then I would prefer to switch to a 3-5-2. And because if we go a goal up, and it's their ground, they have to attack us. They had no other choice but to throw everything onto us and try to score a goal as soon as possible, right? Because the crowd starts getting like pissed off a bit. We could possibly silence the stadium if we scored the goal first, right?
Yeah.
So and judging by what happened at Old Trafford, I think that Mikel Arteta would like do a madness and throw an additional attacker instead of a defender, which plays even more into our cards. And then I think that 3-5-2 would be much better, because when they are like turbo attacking, 8 players in your own half, then I think we only need Son and Kane to attack. But if it's a 0-0 and we are in a 3-5-2, I think that they will leave more bodies behind, because they don't have to be so reckless with the attack. So I think that we will use 3-5-2, and I think that it will be massive, but I don't think we will start with it.
Good points, Michael. I want to quickly ask though, regardless of like shape, formation, do you feel like Arteta could go into this a bit naive, maybe in comparison to someone like Conte? Conte is going to be very, I think, conservative, very practical going into it, not going to take any risks. Do you think Arteta could be a bit naive, hopefully, going into this one with how he might set up his team? Perhaps a really high line being a good example? Because that is Spurs' bread and butter, is a good high line that we can take advantage of.
I think they are really confident right now, Arsenal. And I'm not talking about the fan base. I'm talking about like players and the team, right? And I think that they have every right to be confident. They only lost 1 game so far this season, right? Yeah. They have been performing really well. And let's not talk about the opposition that they had, because you have to beat whatever in front of you, right?
Yeah, true.
But I think that they will be really confident, and they will try to play the same way that they did so far. I don't think that Arteta will be changing much in terms of going to a 3 at the back or whatever. He won't do anything crazy. They will play the way they did, which I think suits us if we are switched on. I think that the worst thing that can happen is us like losing our shit and conceding a stupid goal, which is why I am concerned about the defense, right?
Yeah,
because we've seen this defense, if they are switched on, they can block anyone. Like when we were playing at Anfield last season, and it wasn't like this Liverpool that they are shaky and they aren't really playing that well. That Liverpool was going for the quadruple still, right? And the only way that they could score a goal was a lucky deflection, right? We were so good. We were so good when we were playing against them. And if you put a performance like that, I think that we have all the tools needed to win that game, even.
Yeah.
Right. But sorry, what was your question, Jack? Because
I was just saying, do you think the Lego head will go into this a bit naive? And you said, as much as he might go into this a bit naive, perhaps rightfully so, because they've been playing pretty well so far, and they do have the right, or at least they have some evidence to be confident. They have some good reasoning, to be confident with how they've been playing. So I think that was a good answer. You did answer it, Michael. Don't you worry. With
Arteta and Conte, I have like huge faith in Conte, because I know that he cares about this match. He knows how much it means to us as fans. I'm not even talking about the team, because our team has like plenty of times shown that we don't show up to derbies, right? All the matches against Chelsea last season, right? Even the match against, I know it was a different coach, but the match against Arsenal, the match against West Ham last season at their place, right? And we didn't show up really, but Conte knows how much we care about this game. And I think that even if like shit goes down and, we concede first, he will make sure that it's 1-0 to Arsenal at best. I think that what he brings to the team is like he will literally rip them apart at halftime, tell them, you aren't conceding one more goal because I will destroy you, I will kill you, all that, all those quotes, all those favorite quotes of his, right? So I think that we have a literal powerhouse on the sideline in Antonio Conte.
I think Spurs fans should rest easy, maybe as much as Spurs fans rightfully should be nervous the night before. I think they should rest easy knowing that there is a manager that will prevent, or at least has the best chance of preventing what basically happened with Nuno last time around. I think Conte is the last manager on earth that would sort of have that sort of result, I think, happen to him in any scenario, regardless of how poor his team might be playing. And I think that does give me I don't know, it gives me a bit of confidence. I could say, or at least makes me rest easy.
Yeah, you know what I was going to say was that I think that, for example, let's imagine a situation. It's 0-0, right? And one situation is we score first, right? And the match is starting, to become shorter and shorter. I think Mikel Arteta is much more probable. It is much. There is much more possibility that Mikel Arteta makes something stupid that we can capitalize on. Whereas I think that if we concede first, for example, and it's 68th minute or whatever, I am certain that Conte won't do like anything stupid to make us lose even harder, right? Because after all, if we lose at Emirates, I know it's bragging rights and whatever, but shit happens. It has been happening for like 10 years in a row. I think the last time we won there was 2012 or something, or 2011. So like it won't be anything new, but I think this is like one of the best chances that we have to first of all like break that streak, and second of all to make a statement, like to show everyone like we are to be reckoned with. We deserve respect. That would be massive in my opinion.
Couldn't agree more. Look, it's time we wrapped up there and showed them who the big dogs are, Michael. But Michael, great to have you on again, my man, and we'll see you again very, very soon.
Yes, of course, guys. See you. Bye.
Big up, Michael. Appreciate you.
Michael. Fan Show Friday. Come on before the North London Derby, my man. Get on and have your say when it's on. Big up, Michael. See you then, my man. Bye-bye. Bye. Everyone, give Michael a hell of a lot of love in the comments. He's absolutely brilliant. I love listening to him. Couple of comments to get to. We've got Ben Kaufman. He says, can you smell what the calf is brewing? Big up, Benji. Hope you enjoy that, my man. Good to see you in the building. We've got the Truth Set You Free with the thumbs up. Big up, Truth. I hope you're keeping well, my man.
Appreciate your support.
Lukey boy, make sure you go and enjoy that Frankfurt game and sing for the boys, my man. Beat yourself up.
Big up, Luke.
And with Derek Smith, he says, our defense obviously could be better, but we haven't conceded that many goals this season. It's only one more than Man City. And no one is saying what a terrible defense they have. Well, look, the reason why I think that is because Man City's defense notoriously starts off open, but then gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and that's why they go on to win a Premier League. With our defense, we've proven we can be at the top of the league. Under Jose Mourinho, same backline that we're using today, crumbled and went on to have an absolute shambolic second end to the season. They've also proven time and time again under other managers that they are not good enough, and in the big moments, in the pressure moments, they cannot hold out. And that's why people don't praise our backline, and that's why they praise City, because City's backline have medals, our backline does not. And that's because of their own doing. They've had chances to have medals, some of these guys, and they've chose to crumble. And that's why our defense does not get the respect. And I'll be honest, can you blame people? Can you blame people for it when Sanchez gets a chance and does what he does against Leicester? Sessegnon gets a chance and does what he does against Leicester. Davies has made plenty of mistakes over the time. Dyer has played plenty of mistakes. And this is where I was getting at last night. We call for Son, very quick to call for Son and Kane to be dropped. But then we back these guys up to the hilt and we try and pull stats out, say, oh, we're not as bad as people say. But then ultimately we end up suffering the same fate. And in the same breath, we say, well, we know we can improve on them. So if we're saying we know we can improve on them before we're trying to bring out these stats, then surely that's the answer. We know where the answer is. That's the answer. We've got to improve. But big up Derek Smith.
And then he also says, we'll see what happens in January. Dave, I'd be quite happy if we bought 2 extra center backs. Big yourself up, Derek.
Big up, Derek. Big up. Big up, my man. Good to see you in the building. But look, I believe we've got the birthday boy in the building. So let's get him on. It's KP. He's skipping the queue, so we'll give him a few minutes and then we need to keep cracking on. But actually, I don't know if it is his birthday. I need to ask him something. KPV, my man, how are you keeping?
I'm good.
Keep man. Come here. We got on TV to sing you happy birthday last week, so we're all confused. When was your birthday, my man? Is it last week? Is it today?
It's today, my man, because it's on the 21st, so it's today.
2 birthdays in 1 month, my man. It must be a leap year.
I wish it was. But yeah,
Happy birthday, KPV.
Big up, KPV. Everybody
Yeah.
in the chat, please big this guy up and give him a big happy birthday in the chat. What did you get? Did you get anything nice for your birthday, my man?
Yep, and you're gonna like what I'm gonna show you right now, because you're gonna love it. And if I could turn the bloody lights on, if I could see these chicken lights.
Show us your back cave, Kyle.
I got this Ronaldo picture from the first shot.
Oh, good man.
Unreal. Perfect timing to get it as well.
I got it about, say, what, 4:30 today? 4:30. And there's one more thing. If you smell what Kyle is cooking.
Absolutely love it, my man. But look, what do you want to talk about when it comes to Tottenham?
Like, obviously, those lot down Seven Sisters Road want the North London derby postponed. Well, I don't, because I just want to smash them at the Emirates so hard. We haven't won there since 2010. That was under Harry Redknapp. We won. And Arteta has, I saw your tweet saying he wants it postponed. Do one. No, thank you. I want to smash them because they'll want revenge after we beat them for Champions League place. They're not going to do it, and they think they're going to win the league. Oh, we're going to win the league. No, you're not. You're going to lose every game. You can't beat Man United. You got lucky against Brentford, who I thought Brentford were brilliant the second half, and now they want it postponed. Like in January this season, they ran away, and like I believe Jack said, they're not going to run away this time, but it looks like it's going to do it again. But
this time they're using the tubes
yeah.
This time they're not running away, Kyle. They're staying where they are.
Yeah.
they're not letting us get there with the tubes.
They're not they're not going to run away. They're going to stay where they are because they don't belong over here. They belong over there. They're from South London, not from North London. Because they're not from North London. They're from South London, but they came to our perch. Like, they should be thanking us, but they should have stayed in South London, man, because they were once called the Woolwich Arsenal. And that's what they are, Woolwich. So good luck with that, Gooners. But come the 1st of October, it's time to show you who the real big dogs are. You're looking at the best team in North London. Well, you lot can just stay on Thursdays. Well, we play Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Kane and Son love the North London derby. Scored a welding.
We got new too with Bentancur, Kulusevski as well. Romero. Do you think we're well prepared for this one, Kyle?
Yep, we are. Like, I think we're well prepared. Like, I think we should go for 3-5-2 because I think that's what. Yes, Brian. Cheers for that, Brian Maguire. I thought it was Brian Daigle for a second. Yes, so
you have a man crush on Brian Daigle. You love the guy, don't you?
Yeah, he's funny, man. Every time I go on a late show, he's very funny. And I haven't been able to see him, but January he's coming back over to the UK. So off to Cockfosters I go to see him. And like Perisic, this is his first North London derby because bear in mind he scored against them for Dortmund in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Can he do it again? Of course. This is Tottenham, and I believe Kulu and Bentancur made their North London derby debut back in May, so second derby, but they've not lost the North London derby. Conte hasn't, but he's only lost once at the Emirates. That was with Chelsea. So he's taken a point and he lost. So Conte can help us win there. We've won there once. That was under Harry Redknapp. So
looks like Kyle Perisic Vineyard, your brother Perisic, seems like he's tasted blood before. He's scored against the Gooners. That's a good thing to see. He knows how to score against them. He knows how to take them down. He's not going to go into this as a novice. Perisic is your cousin.
Like he knows how to score. I need Kulusevski and Bentancur to score again because they scored already, but I need Kulu to score in the North London derby. Like, Bentancur with an assist. That was in a 3-0 win. Kane headed it in. So, like, if Kulu and Bentancur can score, then that'll be their first North London derby goals. I'd love it. Dyer, he actually scored, but we lost 4-2. That was on the Poch. So Dyer knows how to wind them up.
Kyle, would you say to Moondog? Moondog loves Dyer bets, but he also says happy birthday, KVP. But would you tell Moondog to put on a couple of quid for Dyer at the weekend to score?
Or somebody else?
Like, Moondog, if I were you, I'd put a bit on Virgil van Dyer. Yeah, so put the Dyer bit on, my man. Because you put a bit on, he doesn't score, but when he does score, you don't put a bit on. So
Eric Dior, Kyle. It's Eric Dior. Virgil van Dior.
Virgil van Dior. Moondog. So it's time you do it. 1st of October, that's in 2 weeks. So let's go up there and get. That's right, NWB. You know it.
What did you say? Woolwich Wanderers.
Yeah, Woolwich Wanderers won't win. Let alone play. Exactly. Let's smash them. Let's destroy them. Like, I can't stand them. Pat Jennings played for both these clubs. It's the Pat Jennings derby. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, look, Kyle, we may keep cracking on because we did let you skip the queue ahead of people because it was your birthday, my man, and we don't want to keep you away from that sunny picture. But look, before we let you go, what do you want to say to the people out there? So many people wishing you happy birthday throughout. What do you want to say to them before we let you go?
You and Conte letting the dogs out?
Yeah, who let the dogs out? Conte did. Yeah, and Conte, it's time to unleash the hound. Show them who the real big dogs are. Let's smash them. And like I agree with Ellie, I don't think we would probably start Kula Sexy at right wing back. Like, if we would, then they'll probably mark him. But bringing him off the bench to score would be to score the winner would be amazing. I'll go absolutely mad. Then, like, who scored the win in the last North London derby out there? It was Kabul, 3-2. So, who wants to see some scenes at the Emirates? 3-2 win. Let's do this. So,
what would the Rock say? Leave us in the words of the Rock. What would the Rock say?
Just bring it.
I love it. Big up, Kyle, my man, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. See you soon.
Happy birthday, my man. Go and stuff some cake now.
Yeah. In Conte we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
In Conte we trust.
Make sure you get on the fan show before North London Derby, buddy.
Yeah, we will.
See you soon, my man. Happy birthday,
man.
Absolute legend. He really cracks me up. He makes me smile, KPV. He's such a legend. Moondog says, Dyer bet, it's going on. Absolutely.
The blessings of KPV. Got the go-ahead from KPV. So far, 2 goals, though, on the season. And I must say, Moondog, maybe with the likes of Gianni Vio, Eric Dyer could be getting some goals that no one could have predicted, you could say, at the beginning of the season. Maybe he might end up with 3 or 4 or something like that towards the end of the season, which would be 4 more than he ever got last season. He didn't score any goals at all last season. So who knows? This is the year.
Big up, Moondog. Really appreciate it, my man. Yeah, this year you could have had it in twice already. I'd say you're absolutely raging, but big up, Moondog. Big up. But look, we'll keep moving. We've got a few more guests to get on. We've got Rufus Roughcut. We've got Mark Newman. We've also got Ollie Freeman as well, fresh off his trip from Leicester at the weekend, where he finally, well, actually, no, not finally. He broke the duck last year, but he got to cheer the boys on to victory. But look, let's get him on. He's, I don't know whether he's actually going to the Frankfurt game or not, but big up, Rufus. How we keep him, my man?
I'm keeping good, mate. I'm keeping good. Yeah, I won't be going to the Frankfurt game. I haven't got enough money at the moment, and it's one of those moments.
Yeah, yeah. It's a look, inflation, my man. It's going up everywhere. It's everyone's penny pinching at the minute, my man. But look, what do you want to talk about when it comes to Tottenham, lad?
Originally, I did want to talk about Son, but I think it's been touched on so many times in this week. It's getting a bit boring now. I would say that me and Jake are a bit against you, mate. We thought it was good that we disagree with the word dropped. Yeah, he was in the team. He was on the team. He was in the team sheet. He wasn't dropped. Dropped is Fat Boy and Dembele or Dele Alli, or do you know what
Well,
I
he
mean?
was dropped though. He was dropped though. He was taken
Yeah,
out of the starting lineup.
He was on the bench. He was part of the team. It's a team game. It's a team game, and he did his bit. I credit where credit's due. He's one of my favourite players. Jacob's got a Sun shirt. He's getting another Sun shirt. It's his favourite player. None of us are against him, but both of us thought he needed to just sit one out. And if you were going to sit one out, Leicester was the option. You're not going to do it in the North London derby. And I would rather that we took that risk of sitting him out on one, see if it freshened him up before the North London derby, because I'm much happier going into the North London derby if Arteta doesn't shit his pants with this Son. Yeah. It's quite funny. Son gets into form and he call the game off.
Shaking in his boots. Shaking in his boots. Rufus, you make a good point, though, where the substitutes are also part of the team. They're also part of the performance, right? They make an impact onto the game in ways that also the starters do. They play a role in the performance. They play a role in the game. And it's kind of an interesting point that you make there, where when we do kind of think of the word dropped and things like that, makes that connotation that he won't play any sort of role at all in the next game. But even coming off the bench, he can still contribute a lot, even if it's just one time that it comes off the bench. I know Dave's going to get into it, but Dave, he did make an interesting point. Just quickly, Dave. He did make an interesting point that substitutes play a role in the performance, because we see Basuma do that. Basuma played a role in the performance coming off the bench. And tightening things up for us. They all play a role, not just the starters.
Touching on Basuma just quickly, I would like to say that Son didn't make an instant impact. It was the 3-5-2 and Son and Basuma that just opened them up like a knife through butter. And you give Son that chance. And I don't know if a lot of people saw it, but I don't know if you get the same feed as I do. I don't know if you watch the same images I do, but not far from the bench. I think it must be one of the VIP club areas when you get the VIP tickets. It's not far from the bench. There was a big group of Koreans that were like literally crying when he didn't get named in the starting lineup. Yeah, and you could see Son like looking at them and stuff like that. I just think maybe that was just like a little masterstroke. Bung a bunch of Koreans in there.
But what's going on here with Sonny, right, is everyone called for him to be dropped, and the word they were using was dropped. But all of a sudden, because he comes on and proves them wrong and scores a hat-trick, they're saying, oh, no, we only said for him to be rested. And they're taking the claim to fame because he came on and scored a hat-trick. You can't call for the guy to be dropped, and then all of a sudden, because he scores a hat-trick and proves everybody wrong, then say, oh, no, we only want him to be rested. I see what's going on. I know what's going on around.
Because the thing is, it's like you can't talk about what might have been. You can only talk about what was. And what was, he sat on the bench for 60 minutes, he came on and he did a worldie. He did a worldie. I mean, he
was going to score anyway.
The first goal is going to be in the goal for the month. That's undoubted. I mean, that was just a worldie. I knew he was going to score as soon as he got in that much space. I wasn't worried about form or anything like that. Just getting Sonny on that foot in that amount of space, just outside the box. And like, there was nobody there. I mean, if there were 4 or 5 players in the box and the Son had the ball in the same position, maybe he would have scored. But like, what was it? Him against 2?
For the first goal, he was sizing up. I think 2 of the center backs. I think Wout Faes came on to help out Johnny Evans, and he had the run of Højbjerg, who's also Jacob's favorite player, if I'm not mistaken, to help him out there. And he went for the absolute worldie instead, and it was a screamer.
It was just perfect. Like me and Jacob were just so happy. And like I'm going to say again, I hate the word dropped. He was in the squad. He came on. He did his job, and he produced the worldie. And if you thought Jacob celebrated hard for the Richarlison's first goal, you should have seen Jacob here for Son's first goal of the season.
Did he jump into your arms like Conte did? Did he jump into your arms like Conte jumped into Perisic's?
Yeah, pretty much. It was something like that. I had to wash the floor on Sunday because there was beer everywhere.
I wish I was in your guys'
He's one of our
spot for the
favourite
games.
players. I hate the word dropped. I mean, the thing is, Dave, at the end of the day, you can't expect Son and Kane and Kulusevski and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah to start every game.
No, but this is where people are missing my
The
point,
whole
though.
season, the whole season.
Rufus,
And if there was,
this is where people miss my point. This is where people miss my point. When you go and look at top teams, go and look where they do the rotation. Cup games, because they don't respect the cups as they do the league or the Champions League. And that's where they do the rotation. But a lot of us fans seem to think we call it for rotation in Premier League and stuff like that and say, oh, the big teams do it. But we're not actually saying it correctly. The big teams do it in the FA Cup, the League Cup, and the other big teams around Europe do it in their domestic cups. They do not do it in the league or the Champions League.
And they do it against relegation fodder, on Leicester relegation
Very rarely, because people come unstuck against relegation teams over the last few years. So very rarely, it's always League Cup and FA Cup.
If I was going to do any form of experimentation, like we did with the 3-5-2, it was going to be against Leicester, not Arsenal. And we needed to change something because exactly the points you touched in the big chat yesterday, we have become so predictable in the 3-4-3.
You felt like we needed to experiment with something before Leicester.
Yeah, we had to do something.
Before Arsenal, we needed to experiment.
Not just before Arsenal. So I'm giving them a bit too much respect. Not just Arsenal, but Frankfurt. We've got to play Frankfurt twice in a row. We'll go Marseille. It's like we've got some big games coming up, and we were looking stale. I mean, you did touch on it last night. Why was he maybe relying on that system so much? I think he got to a bit of a point where if it's not broken, don't fix it, because you wouldn't have changed it at the end of last season, would you?
In fact, I have a feeling, Rufus, that the reason Conte doesn't like switching from that 3-4-3 too often is that he does feel uncomfortable probably dropping one of those sort of, you would basically say, world-class forwards that he has available to him. It probably feels wrong to leave one of the forwards on the bench because he has so many available to him. And that's where Spurs' strength is really in. It's in our forwards. It's in our strikers. It's kind of where our best players really are. And I think he might feel a bit nervous leaving them on the bench when he goes with the 3-5-2.
In that position, but we've only been in that position since January last year.
Since Kulusevski, yeah.
I'm an absolute huge Kane fan, but he did throw his toys out the pram when he didn't get the City move, and I don't actually blame Daniel Levy 100% for that, because Man City never really ever put the money on the table, so he was getting upset with the wrong people, but he did get upset. And a question I'd like to ask Dave is the way he was performing then. If we had actually had an option like we did with Richarlison when Son wasn't performing. Last year, when he was throwing the toys at the pram, you'd have loved to have had an option, wouldn't you?
No, because if you watched me last year, I sat there and batted off absolutely everybody for 3 months solid over Harry Kane. Absolutely everybody was saying Harry Kane needs to be dropped, this, that, and the other. And I sat there and I said it in his worst form. Say what you want about the guy, he's going to finish the club's top scorer across all competitions. And guess what happened? He finished the club's top scorer across all competitions. My point is, and I keep saying it, form is temporary, class is permanent. We're acting like Sonny only scored a hat-trick because he was dropped. But no one wants to talk about him rattling the bar against Fulham, hitting the post in other games, still having chances that he didn't put away. He did not score because he was dropped. My point is, he was always going to score. People go through, and world-class players do go through bad spells of form. But with a world-class player, they'll always come out the other end and produce the goods. It's what Kane done, and it's what Son done. And I just want to stop this nonsense that, Son scored because we dropped him. No, he was unlucky not to score in games in the build-up to this. The West Ham game, Kerr put the ball in his own net to take it away from Sonny. It's ludicrous to think that Son only scored because he was dropped. Son has this ability. We've seen that goal he scored, the second goal, replicated from last year. We know Son has this, so he didn't score because he was dropped. He scored because he's world-class, and he always has that ability in him. And we need to recognize that more, in my opinion. And I disagree. No, last season, if you watch me, I backed Kane to the hilt. People were saying to me, drop him. Bergwijn's got loads of pace. But guess what? I was right to stick by the guy, and the guy proved me right at the end of the season.
I mean, on that point, I would actually disagree a little bit, because he really didn't switch on until Conte came in. He was actually unhappy until Conte came in.
Doesn't matter, but he still finished the season top scorer, and we didn't drop him.
And actually, we didn't drop him because we didn't really have anybody of that class.
We did. People were telling me to drop him for Bergwijn. We had options, according to people, when they were saying dropping Harry Kane. Said to drop him for Bergwijn.
I think we should have given. I think Stevie B was underrated. I think we should have given more chances, especially since. And I disagree with you totally, because I think Kane threw his toys at the Prem, and he didn't really get on board until Conte came in.
But what point are we making?
We saw a completely different Kane.
No, I get that, but what point are we making?
And that's to do with happiness. And everybody talks about class is permanent, form is temporary, but also happiness is a big thing in there. And he just wasn't happy. And I think he was unhappy with the wrong people, because Man City never really put a big bid in for him. And I think if City ever had put a really big bid in for him, he probably wouldn't be here now.
But he is.
Yeah, because they didn't. And I'm happy for it. But I just think he misread it a little bit, because as far as I understand from now, it's a bit further down the line and all the real information comes out, they never ever really put a bid in it. And I think he was also a bit upset that City rated Grealish over him money-wise.
But see, it's not only that.
I think they only bid 80 million officially for Kane, didn't they?
I was told by Tony Galvin at the Legends thing before the West Ham game. Jack, you were there. It's the reason why Kane wanted to leave is because Nuno did not make him feel welcome. Nuno spoke to him on the first day and didn't go and speak to Harry Kane since then. So Nuno didn't make Harry Kane feel welcome. And if you're Harry Kane, you're like, well, hang on, this guy who's managed relegation teams or relegation fodder, done an okay job at Wolves. He's going to come in here and he's going to give me attitude. Me, who scored Tottenham's goals left, right, and centre over the last few years. Would you blame the guy for wanting to leave when he's looking at a manager that he knows will not deliver him trophies?
I feel the same as Kane, because at the time,
especially if the manager's not going to speak to me, I'm sitting there. I'm like, hang on, you need me. You need me. You don't want to speak to me. Of course, I'm going to throw my toys out the pram. Who the fuck does this idiot think he is? That's what I'd be saying.
Yeah, but even when Nuno got manager of the month, I wasn't happy with Nuno as manager. I wasn't really rating the team or what we were doing. We beat City.
Yeah,
and that was a good. And they're 3 points we can be really thankful for at the end of the season when we got the Champions League. They really counted. But apart from that performance, I didn't see anything in what we were doing. I was worried before anybody else was.
Yeah.
And I wasn't happy. And if I was one of the players in the team, I wouldn't be happy. And I think it was a mixture of that for Harry Kane at that time. And anyway, going back to my point, we've diversed. But at that time, I would have been thankful to have a Richarlison or Steve, or have tried Stevie B in a game just to maybe wake him up a bit. Sort of
do you know what? This is the thing. This is the thing. We say try Stevie B in a game. But what good would it done? He's no longer here. He played the whole bench on the season. Harry Kane came good and finished the season the club's top scorer across all competitions. So what good would it be taking Harry Kane out and bringing Steve B in? I don't get this. I just don't understand.
No. Just because at that time he was unhappy, and I think that's a bit of like what happened with Sonny Boy. I don't know what it was. I don't know. There was all this talk about family, the father, and I don't think the career trip was exactly what he was expecting in some ways, and exceeded his expectations in many other ways, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I can
I think he came back a bit of a split personality after that.
Maybe.
He came back a film star, and like he's getting criticisms of his dad publicly and stuff like that. You know, I don't think it was like as easy for him as we think it maybe have been. And I think he
Do you know
came back
what,
in
though,
against
Rufus?
turmoil.
You know what? If he reaches the heights he wants to reach and wants to be at that Ballon d'Or status, which is where he wants to go, he's got to accept that comes with it, and it's up to him to manage it, my man. But look, great chat, Rufus. They keep this moving, my man.
Loves you to bits anyway. You know, I think you're a diamond, even if
no, geez, I know that, man. I know that. Like, look, we can all disagree and have different opinions and still be mates, my man. You know.
And it's about having a friendly discussion, isn't it? Not like
exactly.
I think you're the 10th person Dave has had this debate with this week, Rufus. So I would say maybe you're going to get in line with with it as well.
No,
so
it's
don't you worry.
And, it's not being. And that's what I love about this fan show. It's not about being a keyboard warrior and hiding somewhere and writing whatever you want. And I think that's why a lot of people put too much creed into Twitter and stuff like that. I mean, half the time you don't even know if it's a Tottenham fan. But here,
I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that.
Like this, I love it, and it's like keep doing the good work, both of you. Loves you both. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Rufus. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Rufus. Absolute legend, my man. Absolute legend. Everybody give Rufus a lot of love in the comments. But look, we're going to keep moving because the guests just keep coming. Who have we got next? I believe it's
Daniel.
Daniel. He's back. Let's get him on. How you keeping, my man?
Yes. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. You guys.
What do you want to talk about today?
Mr. 352 Larson.
Yes. Well, we can start with that, I guess. I think 3 in midfield is vital from now on, for a while at least. Especially for the Arsenal game, because if we start with 3-5-2 against them, that's Arteta and Arsenal not going to expect that, and that we're going to take them by surprise, and that's how we are going to get a result there, in my opinion.
Love that.
You think he's hedging his bets on us playing a 3-4-3, the Lego man?
Yeah. Again, I may have. I mean, I never really rated Arteta as a manager. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's not. If he's not good at plan Bs, in my opinion, at least. If he has a plans, he's very stubborn as well, just as Conte is stubborn as well, to be honest. But
Conte.
No, Arteta.
No, he's saying Lego man.
Yeah, because of course he has a way of playing as well, you know.
Yeah.
And if he has all planned, this whole plan with setting up against us with the 3-4-3. That's it. If that's all he's going to think about how we play. And all of a sudden, sorry.
No, I was going to say, is the 3 midfielders, is that going to get the best out of our boy Højbjerg? Is that the best for Mr. Pierre?
I think so, yeah. Even when we switched that against Leicester, I thought it was absolutely amazing. Even we got further forward as well for the 6th goal. Sonny hat-trick, you saw how we drive forward. So
he loves those Viking runs through the midfield. Can he be that sort of box-to-box kind of guy, do you think? Like making those sort of runs to help out the forwards, the attackers?
It's going to be
because someone's got to do it in a 3-man midfield. They can't all just be stationary and just sitting there, right? Someone's got to be running forward. It's got to be Bentancur, Basuma, or Højbjerg. Which one would you like to see maybe take that role on?
I mean, all 3 of them are. I wouldn't mind seeing, because all 3 of them are fantastic. So
yeah.
But if that's Højbjerg, he's going to be a super daddy, you know. So, yeah.
Do you know what? I actually think the 3 in midfield, I think they complemented each other's game last week when I looked at it. I think Basuma looked solid as the guy that sat there to clean everything up behind them. But it also allowed Højbjerg and Bentancur to be so much more proactive about going and turning the ball higher up the pitch, but also allowing them to also get further up the pitch and make them runs. And when I look at all 3 of them midfielders, I actually think all 3 of them. I think Højbjerg could play the holding one. I think Bentancur could do it. And I equally think Basuma could play either side of the holding midfielder as well. I think and even Ollie Skip that comes in, I think he can play either role as well. Do you think that maybe a 3-5-2 is a formation that Conte is eventually looking to get to, Daniel?
I hope so. I mean, that's how he was with Inter, you know. That was his main formation, how he won the league, you know. So, of course, maybe he had, well, I wouldn't say better midfield. Some of course, better. I mean, Barella is world-class, in my opinion. But, so, yeah. No, I hope so, especially for a while, because I just thought we looked so much better and so much more balanced.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I actually think, I don't know whether you agree now, Daniel, but I actually think when I look at that, and I look at the way United bet them, where they sat in, kept 3 boys up front and counted them very, very quickly. When I looked into that and I thought about it today, now last night I had a different opinion. When I thought about it a bit more in depth today and looked at what United done, I actually think Conte will actually start with the 3-4-3. Hopefully look to get a lead. And then, because when you look at the way the United game went, when they were kind of out of the game, Arsenal pushed and they did look good. I think that's when Conte will look to get some early goals on them and then go with a 3-5-2 to sort of see it out, in my opinion. What do you think?
I completely agree there. Completely agree. I think, he's going to start with a 3-4-3. So that's spot on, in my opinion, David. There, spot on.
Yeah. Are we going to see your? Are we going to see your favorite player, Emerson, playing in the North London derby, Daniel, or is it going to be somebody else?
I just want to see Spence now. I just want to see Spence. I gotta say,
bit of a Gooner specialist. Spence is. He's played well against the Gooners in the past.
Yeah, he won against them with the Forest last season. So, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Emerson's gonna play, unfortunately.
As much as you don't rate Emerson, could he put in a job this time around? Because the last time I believe we went away to the Emirates, I think we went with an in-form kind of Tanganga. Tanganga was in form, I believe, at the time, and then got kind of torn apart alongside Sanchez, if I recall, on that right-hand side. Could it be better this time around with Romero and Emerson, if that is the sort of combination?
Yeah. If it's Sanchez and Emerson, I'm going to go and pray to a lot of gods. But, jeez. But if Romero, then sure. But again, he's just nothing forward for Emerson. I mean, he can't do anything on the final third. That's the only issue there. So, nah. But defensively, sure,
Let me ask you this, Daniel. Someone made a good point underneath the video we done last night, and he was saying, basically, Conte put Bastoni in the Inter team at 19 years of age. If he really thought Spence was good enough, he'd be playing by now. What do you think on that? Do you think that's a fair comment?
I mean, he basically said it already, hasn't he?
Jack's thinking.
I kind of disagree with that. I feel like Conte has a reputation of being quite stubborn when it comes to younger players, because I think he's not exactly the loosest or like the freest when it comes to his not really loosest is the term, but I should say lenient when it comes to younger players. He still, I think, asks just as much up from them as he does from somebody that's as old as Perisic. And I think that's where he's a bit different from, let's say, someone like Ralph Hasenhüttl, who pretty much has like a preschool over there with some of the players that he's taken in this season in comparison. So I don't know, Dave. I think, yes, I agree that like players like maybe Barella, players like Bastoni, yes, he's brought into the team and has made absolute superstars and has shown a lot of faith towards, but he's also, I think, I don't know, put some younger players out in the cold in the past as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit, he's a bit like Jose, I would say. He's a bit like Jose, where Jose showed Tanganga all that faith, but then the next younger player, he'll show the door, he'll be really cold too. So it's kind of just, it seems so polar with those guys. They either really like the guy or they seem to kind of, just give them the cold shoulder.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just, I thought it was a good comment, though. It's just fair.
Great comment. It got a good one out of me. It got a good response out of me. But what do you think, Daniel? Do you think, what do you think? Is he already written off Spence? And Spence doesn't have a future as long as Conte is here, or are we getting ahead of ourselves?
I mean, he basically said it almost already. Like, he was never really in his plans when we signed him. It wasn't my signing; it was the club signing. That's what he said. So that for me is like, I mean, I commented during the Leicester game, like, why didn't we just loan him out? If Conte could have said to the club, okay, you can sign him, but he's not going to be in my plans, loan him out, like we did with Destiny. Oh, I love his name, by the way. Yeah.
You're looking forward to seeing him come back? You're looking forward to seeing him come in next year?
he looks like a superstar in the making.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Oh, I think we all are, Daniel. I think we all are. Anything else you want to talk about before we let you go, my man?
Yeah, Sanchez, I don't want to see playing for the club again.
Why?
Nervous Nelly.
Some people would say, though, he got better after he made the mistake. Daniel, what would you say?
After the West Ham game, that was the end for him. So, and after the Leicester game, goodbye. You just saw it. I mean, I'm more calm on the ball than he is. Jesus.
Two versions of Sanchez, in fact, in the West Ham game and the Arsenal game. In the Arsenal game, he was better on the ball than we ever thought he would be, but woeful defending-wise. And then in the West Ham game, he was terrible on the ball and couldn't make a 6-yard pass. And I guess you didn't really point to him for any huge defensive mistakes in the West Ham game, whereas in this game, you easily could have.
I did. But in the West Ham game.
You know what I mean, Dave? Two versions of Sanchez. You just can't get a whole Sanchez. You can't get like a complete player in a performance is kind of the point I'm trying to make here.
I agree.
I gotta say that. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta say the penalty that was given. I watched that back again. I'm pretty sure that was outside the box.
No, because
it's on the line.
It
was on the line. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, actually, I still don't know this West Ham game, the handball. How? I just still don't understand that.
I don't think anybody knows the rules anymore. I don't think anybody knows. They changed them so much nowadays. It's ridiculous, Daniel.
That's the clear. I remember he's hit him. It's the clearest handball.
All of a sudden, no, I agree with you, Daniel. All of a sudden, it turned into the like, oh, well, he didn't really mean it. Like, he didn't really know what it was. And you're like, that was what we're trying to get away from. Like, that sort of like interpretation.
Yeah.
Like, it was all wrong.
And they're also supposed to be trying to get away from the how long it takes to make them calls. I mean, honestly, just looking at it, it just looked like they're doing everything in their power to find a reason to not give it. Because what was it, 16, 17 times? I think we counted, Jack. They were messing around with it.
I think you had 2 toilet breaks, Dave, if I recall it. Actually, I think in the time you went up, got a glass of water. I think you stopped by, the pound shop, came back, Dave. I mean, they were taking all the time in the world. They had a whole intermission break, basically. Is what it was.
It was disgraceful.
But Daniel,
that's what it is. Yeah.
Great conversation as always, and really good to see you on. And hopefully we catch you Friday if you're able to make it as well. Big up, brother.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, of course. If I'm here, I'll be here.
We got to get you another time before that North London derby. We got to get you another time at least.
Oh my God! Yeah. God damn.
We'll see you again, man. Big up, Daniel. Big up. We'll see you soon. Absolute brilliant call in there from Daniel, guys. Everybody give him a big up in the comments. Some love. Who we got next? Mark New, my man. Turn on that camera. Let's get you on, brother.
And also the Spurs bench becoming, let me just check, becoming a fan show member. The Spurs bench has Big Yourself Up. Hopefully, I think the link is still out there. And if you do want to come on, feel free to click it, my man. It will go out pretty soon, though. So don't whatever it is, Dave, don't be too patient there, Spurs bench. But if tonight doesn't work out for you, we have Friday as well for you to come on. And if that doesn't work either, the following Monday, we'll see you too. Big Yourself Up, Spurs.
Plenty of fan shows, my man. Look, these are there for Spurs fans to come on and have their say. As long as you keep coming, me and Jack will keep sitting here and letting you guys have a voice. So, guys, make sure you use it. And plus, the truth sets you free. Rob Wallace, 2 very kind guys dishing out the memberships to people to be able to use them to come on to this fan show and stuff like that. So, guys, make sure you use them and get them on, because the boys have been very, very kind in doing that for everybody, because they do understand it is hard times. And I will also be buying some memberships because they just randomly dish out to people. So, guys, make sure you use them when they're there to come on. But look, let's get him on. I believe this is a debut. I'm excited to see what this guy has to say. He's always in the comments. Let's have a chat. Mark, my man, how are you keeping?
Guys, hey, fine. Just give this other screen switched off. Really pleased to be obviously big thank you to Mr. Truth. Truth sets you free. Big man, big Spurs fan. Thank you. Coming on with some of the things that some of the guys were saying, let's do a googly out there. Last 15 minutes, North London derby, it's 2-2. It's really close. Now, everyone thinks Conte is going to play predictable. He'll bring on the usual substitutes. But just maybe he knows how much this means to the fans. Will he throw on someone fast? Someone to absolutely run at them, let's say someone absolutely fast, put on the afterburners. Will he throw on Spence? Now, and how shall I put it? My feeling is, obviously, everyone expects him to be predictable. He won't play him. But the thing is with Spence, he's in the under-21s for the international break. He may show something there. And I think, and the thing with Conte, people say, is he predictable? Is he stubborn? And I take on board what people have said. He may do that. But if he wants something unpredictable, do you think he may just unexpectedly throw on Spence last 15 minutes?
I mean, it's a beautiful portrait you just paid there, a beautiful painting you just gave me. Does he actually do that in that scenario? Here, I don't know. So many things I must say there, Mark. First of all, I think Dave will have to check his blood pressure at 2-2 end of the game there. I mean, I might have to be taking care of him at that stage and make sure that he's well fed, has some water in his system, because I know Dave would not be able to control himself at that stage. But Spence coming on, it does seem like the right move in a certain way. Like you said, he'll work hard, right? He'll be defensive. He won't abandon his post, at least defensively, and he'll make those runs in behind, be that sort of X factor. I don't know, Dave, what do you think? It's an interesting sort of scenario that he's painted us here, Marquez.
No, look, I think it's definitely something you could do. Do I see Conte doing it? I'm not so sure. I think he really prefers Emerson as sort of, defensively. I think he likes having that solidity there. But, Mark, what I would say is look, I'm not going to sit here and question Conte. Look, he's an absolute world-class manager. I'm just not sure where he's coming from with Spence, because Spence has had a meteoric rise last season. He basically was unwanted at Middlesbrough. We got to Nottingham Forest, and within one season, he's turned it around. He's in the England underage show where he wasn't before. He played against Premier League opposition last year for Nottingham Forest and was coming off the pitch as almost the best player on the pitch in every single one of them, putting a man-of-the-match performance against Arsenal last season, and they could not handle Jedi Spence in that game. I see where you're saying. I do see where you're coming from. I'm just not sure. I also think he's actually been unlucky that there's been no early round of the League Cup games to prove what he can offer to Conte, because of the prior season it is. So I do think he's probably been unlucky in that way. And with the way Conte is, I believe we will not see him until that Carabao Cup game, in my opinion.
That's true. It's fair enough. I mean, the thing is, the other thing with the Woolwich, they've got many weak points, but the weak point, the big thing that really stands out for me, their discipline. Their discipline is absolutely crap. I mean, the turning point, the home game was when I think so was it Partey was sent off?
Yes.
There was Partey. But it wasn't just
Chambers
sent off.
or Holding.
White.
Holding.
Holding for Holding.
Holding for Holding. Because the thing is, but it wasn't just with the one card. He deserved so many cards. Right. Now, thing is, someone like Spence, if he runs at them, obviously say he's a young, fit guy. The only way they're going to stop him, they're going to grab him, hold him. If Holding's on there, he'll be holding on. They'll literally be holding on with the yellow cards. And the end of the game, they're going to be on a few yellow cards. Now, I suppose obviously it depends on the ref, the VAR, all of this stuff to play with. But the other thing is, as I say, their weak point is discipline. And if they're risking getting players sent off for the last 10, 15 minutes, that could also turn the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How do you see us lining up, though, against the likes of Arsenal? Would you want us to? This is the big talking point, right, Mark? Is that 3-5-2 versus that 3-4-3? What are your thoughts on it? Be a way for your Jet Spence to get in there if it were 3-5-2.
Well, it's a tough call. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, there's both arguments. I'm persuaded by both. They all look good. Some of them just say play two up front. I think other people say, play four up front. Just literally push the boat out, push all four up front. I think some I've heard was like saying Romero and Longley at the back, just play two at the back and push everyone else forward.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so many different ways to play it. The one thing I do hope that Conte does is he's unpredictable. He doesn't play something because the thing is, because they've had the international break, they'll be studying all the formations, all the squads, all the different things, all the different ways we're going to play the game. And the thing is, with as they say with Arteta, he's a nice guy, but let's say he's not. Say the thing with Arteta's not exactly the sharpest tool in the box. No. And if Conte and
the brightest light bulb,
exactly, 100%. And if someone is Conte, because Conte also will have had 10 days to prepare for this game. Yeah. Normally he has a few days or a week. He'll have had 10 days,
and that gives you a lot of confidence. Then, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so is a lot of different game plan scenarios to play with. Now, admittedly, as regards the team, with the team, he won't have all the players there at the same time. I think it's also, I put it at the beginning of the chat, I think I read somewhere on Twitter this morning, I think that Romero had visa problems. So it's possible he may not be even be able to go to Argentina.
Can you expand on that? What are the visa problems? Because I haven't seen this, Mark.
I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I'm not sure 100% just yet. I saw on Twitter. What I can do when we finish the call, I can recheck. I can find the link and I'll post it for you guys. But I did see there was problems with Romero, and obviously in terms of Romero, every time he goes away, he just knows there's going to be problems. Is it the visa? Is it this? It's just always going to be.
He just seems to attract trouble, doesn't he?
He just knows someone's going to go down. So obviously, with Romero, he plays with his heart on his sleeve for his club, for his country. So I don't wish that he doesn't go, but just before the North London derby, I would love to have him playing and have him fit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Do you think he does come back in the team for Davinson Sanchez for the North London derby, though, Mark?
I hope so.
He's got to, in my opinion.
He has to. Because especially someone like Romero, what you want to see in the North London derby, you want Romero, you want Richie, you want non-stop shithousery. They will just give it to them. It was just, I can imagine, say, the same team, Romero and Richie. You just put them on there and they will just be absolutely loving it.
It's almost like they're made for those games.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked KPV this question earlier, Mark. Considering what the team looked like the last time we went away to the likes of to Woolwich, it feels like we're much better prepared this time. We have a much better team. Romero hasn't played there before. Kulusevski hasn't played there before. Bentancur hasn't played there before, just to name a few. I mean, do you feel better prepared this time? Do you feel like this is a more formidable Spurs that can grab the result that no one has been able to grab, kind of a draw or an away or an away win?
Oh yeah, 100%, Jack. Because the thing is, because I think it's one of the earlier callers said of it with Arteta, he played the 15-year-old schoolboy, and obviously going to school in the morning, all of this stuff. And obviously, in terms of Arteta, you can either say he's being nice to the kids, but the other way of looking at it is his bench is very weak. He's got a very weak bench, and our bench is strong. And the turning point with the game could well be not just who has the strongest bench, but who plays the strongest bench. And I know, as they're saying with Conte, especially as Jack has said, he can be a little bit stubborn. He doesn't always play the full bench. But this game, especially players going to be come back from international break, they'll be tired. They'll be going at it. And we're going at it full pelt, 100% for the whole game. You must play the bench. And he needs fresh legs the last 15, 20 minutes. So hopefully he will put on some, not just strong players, but some of the young players who will just run at them. And even if they do or don't get the formation, they're this, they're that, the pace will just scare the bejesus out of them. Absolutely.
Really well. Good answer, Mark. That's what Conte really wants for that North London derby. And he's probably said this. He wants his soldiers there. He needs soldiers on the bench. That's for sure. I also asked other guests before this question, but do you feel like the Lego man is a bit naive maybe going into a game like this? Like, could he leave a lot of space in behind? Perhaps his center backs play a bit too high of a line. Sonny last time caused them a lot of trouble. Felt like they didn't know how to handle a guy like him. Could they be a bit naive? Could the Lego head go into this a bit naive again?
Oh, I mean, exactly. I think, as you all know, with the Woolwich, their tradition, it's all like 1-0 to the Arsenal. It's all to say with the high line. So the offside game, they're known for the offside game. That's what they play. So obviously, it could well be key with the offside, the VAR. Will it be who's going to be? I think in terms of who's going to be drawing the lines on the map, lines on the pitch, all of this stuff. But they will play. But they will be pushing their luck with offsides non-stop. Hopefully now, because I think we last saw when there were some bad VAR decisions, the refs took a lot of shit. They took a lot of crap, a lot of hassle, and I think they know that if the VAR, and I think they know that if the offside is too close, hopefully they will play a decent game and they will allow the game to play on, and they won't have any of these dodgy your toenail is offside, your right fingernail, all of this rubbish. Hopefully they will allow the game to flow, and if they allow the game to flow with the offsides, that's gotta help us and against them.
I agree. I think you make a very good point there. I think the referee has to be able to let the game flow. I think he has to expect there are going to be some challenges, but look, get a grip on it, but allow it to flow as well. I think he sets the standard by pulling out the first card early, in my opinion.
I'd be worried. I'd be worried if the referee isn't letting them play, because kind of the whole thing with Arsenal versus our team is we can bully a team like theirs, Mark, because we are a lot physically stronger, physically bigger. We do play a bit meaner than they do as well. I'd be disappointed if the referee didn't kind of let some things sort of slide, or didn't let it be maybe a physical game, because then that sort of plays in their hands. I feel like the likes of Arsenal, it's not fair to, it's not a balanced game, because it's on them if they want to pick a bunch of Fabio Vieiras on the pitch and against Basuma. And I feel like if the referee gives them a bunch of, how would you say it, but kind of gifts, but it would disappoint me, because it's it's their fault if they put a bunch of players that could get kind of bullied or could get kind of shoved over, you could say.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the referee he's a massive game on his hands, a massive job on his hands, and hopefully he does make it an entertaining game of football, because there'll be nothing worse than seeing the whistle blown every 2 minutes. No sort of consistency to the game whatsoever. I think we'll be in for a bore fest if that's the case. I also think you make a great point about the bench. I think that could come to play in that game, we're looking to change the game depending on where the game is. I think we have a lot more to do it, whether we want to change it to go on with it, or whether we want to kind of get to grips with it and see it out, and what Arsenal do off the bench. So I do think you make a great point in that regard, my man. Do you think Arteta might try one of his crazy moments in the big games? Because you look at it, some of the big games, he makes weird decisions. Like I said, last season against Liverpool, for strange, the whole Anfield was quiet. Klopp was quiet. Liverpool are off. He tries to start an argument with the guy thinking he's Billy Big Bollocks. Liverpool smacked him. I think there was another game. I think some of his substitutions against Man United also did not help him out. I thought it left him more and more exposed. And he's a bit like Pep Guardiola, where big games come around. He likes to make these little nuanced, little niche changes, so that, in my opinion, they can get spoke about on how genius they are. But it tends to backfire an awful lot of the time. You think Arteta might try one of his little light bulb moments?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. For sure, because I think as you're saying, in terms of, say, with Arteta, whether let's say he wants to be, let's say, a mini me, let's say a mini Pep, or he wants to be like a mini Klopp, but that's who he is, because he's not. Because they may have been top of the Premiership for a short time, but he is not an elite manager.
Yeah, no,
I mean, he's not.
Right.
I agree. Anything else you want to talk about, Marky, before we move on to Ollie? You still have a few minutes. Anything else you want to talk about? You've been a pretty it's been really, really pleased. If I could possibly say one thing, you'd probably laugh. Sunday night, I went for a Chinese takeaway, and I'm sure you guys had the same thing with a meal. End of the meal, had a fortune cookie, and I thought, do I want it? Do I not take it? But I opened it up. It said
within 1 year, Mark, you'll be on TV. I said, oh, really? It's never going to happen. But within 1 week, I'm on TV now. I'm on the channel. I'm on your channel, boys. I'm on your channel.
Come on.
So I tell you, the fortune cookie it comes to. So hopefully the fortune cookie won't just be for me. Let's say we'll also have a bit of luck for Mr. Sonny. And whether and I can imagine, obviously, but as I say, but especially in terms of with Sonny, he has turned Sonny, he's turned the corner. You could see how much it meant to him with a hat trick on Leicester. And so like the last 15 minutes, and I think, as I say, in terms with the Derby game, whether he's either going to play the first half, the second half, he's going to play the whole game. It really is too close to call. And realistically, whichever way Conte plays, I trust him. If he either wants to play him first half, play him second half, just bring him off the bench. But I think somewhere within there, Sonny is going to be on fire, and he knows how much it would mean to the fans and to him to score 1, to score 2, and if he gets 2, he's just going to be going full out for the hat trick.
Definitely.
Couldn't agree more. Well, Mark, I mean, hopefully you use that membership and keep coming on, my man, because I've really enjoyed the conversation. I will ask you one thing, though, quickly. You have me hungry. What did you get in the Chinese on Sunday?
Cheers. Let me think. Is it spring roll? Chili shredded. I had a chili shredded, not the beef, but the prawns. There was some vegetable noodles, chops to some sweet and sour noodles.
Mark,
my favourite.
His favourite as well, Dave. He treated himself his favourite as well.
Just before we let you go, though, Daigle says, big up everyone in the chat, David and Jack, and a big up to a top man. Come on, you Spurs.
Oh, cheers, Mr. Daigle. You're actually a Tottenham legend, mate, for your channel, and especially obviously the way you support these guys, David and Jack.
Big up.
Big up, Daigle.
Big up, you guys.
Well, Mark, anything else you want to say to the Spurs fans before we let you go, buddy?
Smashed it.
We'll just say it's a big game. It's a close game. But the thing is, our away support is massive. And I know that it's a big game for them, but our away support is absolutely massive. So if you're going to be at that game, apologise, I'm not going to be there. But if you're going to be at that game, make them know who you are, where you are, and let us win.
Yeah, I love that, Mark.
Yeah,
absolutely love that, Mark. I want to see you on more of these, my man. Absolutely smashed it. I know it's not easy coming on for your first time. I remember doing mine when we were talking TV. I was as quiet as a mouse. I was nervous. Some people would say, please go back to that day. But Mark, absolutely smashed it, my man. So I appreciate you coming on. Email me as well. I want to get your number and put you into our Irish Hotspur group chat and WhatsApp and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people thought you had a great debut as well, Mark. So big yourself up, my man.
Cheers, guys. Many thanks.
The whole Irish Army is showing you a lot of love. But we'll see you again soon.
We'll
see you soon.
See you guys.
See you soon, Mark. Absolutely love it. Do you know what, Jacko? I love when people come on for the first time and absolutely smash it. I love it. What a conversation with the guy. Absolutely. Do you know what? And it's great because this guy has been in the chat and he's in there absolutely religiously, time and time again. And it's great to start putting some faces to these names. People that we've built a rapport with over the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, all over Tottenham. It's great to see people now coming out and wanted to come out and share their opinions on Tottenham, and it's absolutely fantastic.
He smashed it. It was a natural, honestly. Even the way he got it started, it was like it's like he'd been there 1,000 times before. It was that sort of kind of debut. Really great job, Mark, and everybody is showing him a lot of love as well. And we can all thank The Truth Sets Free as well, because if it wasn't for The Truth Sets Free, we wouldn't have been able to see Mark come on, and hopefully we get to see Mark even more and more. So also anybody that does have that membership and hasn't maybe used it yet, there you go. Mark just absolutely smashed it out of the park. And yet again, another example of great debuts, everybody. So do come on if you are feeling it. Big up, everybody. Big up, Mark.
Big up. Another guy, Derek. Don't be afraid, my man. Come on, lad. Look, even if you don't want to turn your camera on, it would be ideal if you turned your camera on, but I'll make an exception. Even if you don't, come on and have a say, Derek, my man. Big yourself up. You're always in here battling away or chatting with me, one or the other, but make sure you come on, my man. Big yourself up. Another one, Philo with that badge. Philo, you're another one in the comments, me and you battle away about Sanchez and that. Come on and have your say with me, my man. Don't be afraid to come on. But he says, Lenglet left centre-back, Romero centre-back, and Sanchez right centre-back for pace versus the scum. Look, I can see where you're going with it, Philo, with Sanchez and his pace. But look, for me, there's more to the defending than having pace. I mean, you've got to be able to defend. And he's proven to me time and time again that he cannot do it. Look, sorry, he can't do it against teams that have trouble scoring goals, is what I will say. Even if you look at the back end of last season, some of the clean sheets he was involved in, Arsenal down to 10 men, Burnley relegated, Norwich relegated, Wolves this season struggled to score goals. Nottingham Forest, again, another one. He plays well in them sort of games, but when it comes to the bigger games, he gets shown up an awful lot of the time. Or teams that have a bit about them going forward. Leicester, West Ham, he was shown up time and time again by Mikel Antonio with the same move. For me, Sanchez is a liability defensively, and he's proven that down the years. I mean, even the balls over top from Man City, he can't deal with it. He's sliding around the ground, this, that, and the other. And look, I get people out there like Sanchez, but the guy is not good. He's not a good defender. He's been here 5 years. He's 25 going on 26 now. He's not getting any younger. And there's so many flaws in his game. For me, I think it's time to move him on at the end of the season and go in and get better. I think that's what we're missing between maybe finishing top 4 this season and really going on to challenge the likes of a Man City. But I see where you're coming from. His pace could come in handy against the likes of a Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, who play down that side, Saka maybe. Very, very quick players. And Sanchez, one thing you could do is keep up with them. But my biggest concern is what will happen, is what we've seen against James Justin. A couple of missed tackles because they're so quick. They're too quick for him. Too quick-minded, and that's my fear. But I do see where you're coming from. Jack, do you think I've been harsh, or what do you want to say to Philo?
No, I agree with you. I think you did try to see where Philo was coming from here, or Philo coming from here, Dave. Yeah, I know. And so, but I agree with you ultimately that it's just, I don't know, especially with Dyer, Dave, like I just don't think he's even playing in that poor form that you would then consider dropping him or anything. He hasn't shown as much, maybe you could say, sketchiness as the likes of sort of Davies or Sanchez has defensively so far this season. If anything, I think what Dyer's been sort of guilty of is the occasional giveaway that just doesn't really make sense. Like
he makes less mistakes than the rest of them.
But he makes less mistakes, and I don't know. I feel like Dyer sort of deserves to play in that North London derby. I think on merit right now, if you were to give it to players on merit, I think he does get into the team. Not saying much, it's certainly not saying much, but I think he does get into that team. Also, we do want players that are good on the ball, despite having that pace. Philo, we want players that are good on the ball because Arsenal will probably press that back line, and then that means we want our best ball playing center backs, which Dyer happens to be one of them.
I'll be surprised if they don't press us. When Mikel Arteta, the number 8 of the All for Nothing series, and the last series, which Tottenham was involved in the last episode with the Tottenham game, he's identified our backline, and I'll be very surprised if he doesn't go with the same sort of game plan again, my man. So it'll be interesting to see what he sets up Arsenal to do. But I agree with Jack. I do think they will look to press us. But big up, Philo. Big up, my man. Look, get in the comments. Let us know why you want Sanchez. Why you want him in over Dyer, my man. Let us know. But big up, fight. But look, we're down to the last guest of the evening. It is Ollie Freeman. Dermot, Ellie, I know you guys wanted to come on. If you're out there, you're going to have to get into the background by the time Ollie's off, because if not, we can't sit around and wait for you because we don't know how long you're going to be. So make sure you get into the chat, or sorry, not into the chat, into the back end, or anyone else that wants to come on. Ollie is our last guest, so feel free to get in there and we will get you on. But look,
hit that link, people.
Let's get the Freeman on. He's changed from Tottenham's worst luck to Tottenham's lucky charm. How you keeping, my man?
How you getting on? I'm not on my own this time. I've got someone with me.
With us.
She's decided she's going to follow Spurs now.
Have I?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's why she wanted to come on. She wanted to tell everybody.
No,
that's right.
But yeah, no, she's trying to get all your followers. You know, she's got an agenda. You know, she wanted to poke her head in. But,
no, I love it.
You're leaving though, Ollie. You felt like you were a bad luck charm, right? Didn't you feel like a bad luck charm going to the Spurs ground? And I mean, what a roller coaster of a game to get rid of that bad luck charm.
Yeah, I was getting called a bit of a Jonah, wasn't I? I went to 2 games and lost both of them, and kind of got that duck off me back in May when I went to the Burnley game,
Right,
they
that's
won
right.
then. So I was a bit more relaxed going to this Leicester game now. I kind of knew that,
That's right.
the book's off me back. But yeah, 6 goals. It was great.
Well, look, you had a bird's eye view from the stands. So, I mean, take us through it. What's your opinions on that game, my man?
Yeah, like the first half, obviously Leicester had way too much possession for my liking. They had 60% of the possession. I know, like, they're bound to have a little bit more because of the way we play, but 60%, that kind of worried me. And they had a lot more shots than us as well, believe it or not. They had like double the amount of shots than what we had. So yeah, first half not great, but here we wasn't losing. And then the second half, they were still in the game, wasn't they? I know Bentancur got a good tackle in. Actually, when Bentancur scored the third goal, I was actually on the phone to Philip saying that there's a seat beside me. There was a few seats extra beside me, and me and Brian telling him to come down. And as I was on the phone to him, he's like, we're both like, oh, he's got the ball. Oh, he's going to score. And then the two of us start screaming at each other down the phone. Like, so that was a good experience, And then after that, yeah, you know yourself, Basuma came on, Son came on, and just took control. And it was just such a great feeling, seeing Son score a hat-trick. Like, I'll never forget that.
Which one was the most impressive in person, would you say, Ollie? Was it the first, the second?
I think at first. The first, yeah. Because the way he came in, he had 2 defenders around him. He kind of just got in between them and then just put it right in the top corner. Like, and I was on that side as well. I wasn't in the south stand. I was in the east stand. And so I got a real good view of it. And I also got to have a good view of Sanchez taking down your man in the penalty box as well. So,
that must have not made you feel good in the beginning of the game. A bit nervous, probably a bit sick in the stomach, I bet.
You know what? He gave away the ball as well before that.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one who knocked the ball. He gave away the ball, knocked it back, and that's when Perisic was out of position and lost it.
Because he had all the time in the world. I remember he decided to go for like a first time sort of clearance and he just mishit it or whatever it was, if I recall. Yeah. Spot on, Ollie.
Do you think our wing backs were too high in that first half? Because when I looked at it, and I looked at the game back, I think our wing backs were caught very, very high, and Leicester exploited us down the sides well. What was your view on it from the stands, my man?
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, they was very high. Like, Sessegnon got caught for the second goal, didn't he? From Castagna. And Perisic. I've seen Perisic get caught a few times now. I remember the Sporting game, rings a bell, just before the free kick what was given away when Hugo made the save. But yeah, he got caught in the Leicester game as well. But I think for the goal the penalty they scored, I think Perisic was out of position because Sanchez knocked the ball into a stupid area unexpectedly, and that's why he was out of position. He was waiting to progress, so I don't really blame him for the penalty, really, because it was unexpected what Sanchez was going to do. So, but yeah, no, here all around it was a great game. It was buzzing leaving the stadium. And then the taxi wasn't there for us. We got a bit flustered for about 15, 20 minutes because we thought we were going to miss our flight. Your man, Chris Colin, walked right by us. I was too flustered to say hello to him, because my taxi wasn't there.
To get the Godfather and yourself home.
We were a little bit worried we were listening to yourselves on the watch along on the way home in the taxi. So yeah, no, it was a great day, and you know what? I just can't wait to go back. It's just
I'll have to go to the next one with you. I can't miss it. I just can't. I can't, my man. But look, what's your thoughts coming into the North London Derby? Because off the back of the Leicester, there were so many things. Like, there was changes that Conte made to the starting lineup, system changes, dropping Sonny. I mean, what's your thoughts coming into the Arsenal game? What do you think Conte should do, or what do you think he will do? I mean, do you think he'll revert back and getting the likes of Romero back into the team, etc.?
Yeah, he definitely put Romero back in. I don't think he'll, after what Sanchez did in that first 10 minutes, he won't trust him again to kind of step in for a big game like that.
Did he substitute him off, do you think, because of it too? Like, did he just have enough with Sanchez? Did he put Romero in because he thought it was too risky. What are your thoughts on that? Because that was kind of crazy to see a center back be just kind of swapped like for like.
Yeah, he didn't substitute him straight away though, did he? Substitute. No, he came off in the second half, didn't he? But I think he just played Sanchez in the Leicester game because I think Conte knew that Leicester was on a bit of a shit form, and I know Romero he was a little bit poor against.
It's true.
Sporting, and he probably just wanted to keep Romero on his toes a little bit, just to kind of say, I will drop you if you're going to make mistakes. But I know he's coming from an injury, so I think by the Arsenal game, touch wood that the international duty goes well, he'll play in that. And after listening to you all talk about it yesterday, I would probably play. If it was me, I'd want to play the three in midfield and Kulusevski as a wing back if it was me. But I wouldn't be surprised if Conte just sticks with the same formation, see how it goes, and then he might change it during the game, bring Basuma on and then go like that. That's what I think he'll do. But if it was me,
does Kulusevski still have to play though in your eyes? Does he have to start if it's right wing back, right wing, wherever he plays? He has to start.
Yeah, I'd prefer to see him play. I really like Richarlison. Like I love that we signed him and we've got the option now. But yeah, when it comes to the front three, I kind of want to see Son, Kane, and Kulusevski. And then I don't mind like when it comes to playing against Arsenal. Like I know about the whole Sonny conversation. I won't go too much into it, but I don't really mind.
I don't want to fall out with Johnny.
No, I don't really like. Let's put it this way, right? If I was there, so I would have wanted to. But say if I wasn't going to the game, if Conte decided to rotate Kane just for a game, it wouldn't really bother me because that's what he said it after his press conference that you're going to be rotated, and if you want to play every week, go and play for a medium team. You're going to be rotated, but I get it. For the big games, you need Kane, Kulusevski, and Son. But when you're playing the likes of Leicester, the lower teams, it wouldn't have really bothered me to see Son on the bench or Kane on the bench, against them teams, because I just believe that Richarlison's good enough to step in and do a job. So,
do you know what it is? I do think Richarlison is good enough to step in and do a job, Ali. But for me, it's like, look, we took Sonny out of the team. He came back in. He offered more than what Richie did. We took Kulu out of the team. He came back in and he's offered more than what Richie does. And look, I'm not sitting here slandering Richie. I'm a massive fan of the guy. I really wanted Tottenham to sign him, but it's his link-up play. It is not there yet, and until it gets there, it's only hurting us. The problem with the last while has not been the formation or the tactics, like people say. It's been the front line not being able to click. And it's him that's been in there when it hasn't really been clicking as much. So I think it's only right for the benefit of the team that he comes back out for the North London Derby and goes and works on his game to get back in. So when he does get back in, that link-up play is there.
100% for the big games, really big games. I want to see them three up top. But yeah, like for the medium games where lower teams, I don't really mind seeing, like, see the way there was this thing about drop Sonny. Like I in the Sporting game, I think Son was probably the best out of the front three that game. He probably showed. I thought he played better than Richarlison and Kane against Sporting. And in other games like Southampton, he got 2 assists. So, like, I wasn't like he got rested against Leicester. Yeah, I had no problem with that. But that wasn't because of his previous form. I was just glad to see. You know what? At least Conte thinks that Richarlison comes in and do a job, and it worked out all right in the end because he came on and scored 3 goals. So, I like say in a couple of games' time when we're playing Bournemouth, that'll be the game to put Kane on the bench. Put Richarlison up front, see if we can get away with it. Like
you only drop Kane for League Cup and FA Cup. You're playing for all Champions League.
He probably will, yeah. Just just want, if it benefits the whole team, I'm just up for it. Like it's like, and obviously,
I get it. I get it. Look, for me, once Richarlison can come in and there's not a noticeable drop off in terms of our attack and play, no problem. I'm happy to sit there, rest the likes of Kane, Son, Kulu at times. But Richarlison does have to up his game. He has to up his game. We can't afford to rotate for the sake of rotating when the drop-off in quality is too noticeable, which it has been the last couple of games, in my opinion.
That's it. Time will bring him up as well. And
of course,
am I right? You know what? Like, is Richarlison like 25, 26? How old is he?
I think he's 24, 25 in and around
24,
there.
25. So Kane and Son are 30. So if we can just mould Richarlison, by the time Richarlison's like 27, 28, Kane and Son will be kind of like,
they're in different age brackets.
Probably seeing better days. And hopefully Richarlison can get, with playing with these and seeing these, what they do, he might be able to stay level one day. You just wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, so you'd like to think that maybe if he does stay around a while, it's almost him and Kulusevski that can sort of perhaps kind of take on a bit of sort of leadership and maybe that front line, or at least some of the burden once eventually those two world-class players go. But great comments there, Ali. I definitely agree with you. I do want to ask though about going into this game. Do you feel more confident going into this away match? It's the same question I've asked people before. Do you feel like we're better prepared going into it? Do you feel more prepared? Do you feel like you're not as nervous, let's say, going into it than maybe other occasions? I know we're always nervous. It's a silly
you have to
question,
be nervous.
Let's say if you were to be a confident man, would this be a time where you would be more confident than other years?
Definitely more confident now. Yeah, like the last time we won there, the Robin beside me was in her mum's belly, waiting to be born. So that's how long ago it was. I remember the day I was in the pub watching it. And that's the last time we won there. Kabul got the winner, didn't he? 3-2. The Emirates.
4-2 was it? 4-2.
It was 3-2. Was it 3-2 at the Emirates? I think. Kabul, yeah. But
that was.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I know it was. I ended up staying a little while longer in the pub. That it was early kickoff. I remember it. And so it's been a long time. But this time, you just look at Arteta and you look at Conte and you just think Conte's probably going to outdo him that day. Like even if they come at us, I just think that Conte will have them so on it. We'll just pick them off, and I think there's more pressure on them for this game as well.
Maybe I'm a bit naive here, Ollie. I mean, you're welcome to tell me I'm a bit crazy here, but with how horrible it went last time with Nuno, it's just Conte gives me that confidence that he seems like the last manager on earth that would let that sort of situation happen, even if we do play sort of terribly and if we do sort of play in a very kind of dogged sort of kind of manner. I just don't see us being 3-0 down by halftime under Antonio Conte. And call me crazy, but that gives me more confidence. And that gives me kind of like, or at least it makes me not have to be as nervous as maybe I normally would be, because he just feels like the last guy on earth that would let that happen. And that is what happened last time. So
yeah, no, it's a completely different situation. Like we didn't even have an identity under Nuno and a way of playing. Like do you remember Ndombele and Dele Alli? They were like playing up front when they were supposed to be playing in the midfield.
Højbjerg, was left on his own, and I remember
crazy.
we were all over the match of the day. And
it was mental. So no, we have a way of playing. We have an identity now, and like if we go in there with Lenglet, Dyer, and Romero, and I think we're going to pick them off. And here, I was supposed to meet up with my best mate, one of my best mates for that game, who's an Arsenal fan down the town, and he's already telling me he's not going to make it. So here it's typical Gunners, just pulling out and and cancelling things, trying to. So that, I think that's a sign, where we're probably going to pick them off, even if we go 1-0 down. I reckon we won't lose the head, and I think if they went 1-0 up, they'll get real nervous. We're about to beat them, and they'll fold.
For me, I think first goal is crucial, especially in an North London derby away. We've got to get the first goal. Yeah. I do take your point about them being nervous, and I do think we will create chances even if they go 1 up. But the last thing you want to do is give them any shift of momentum towards, at all. A bit like, we got away with it against Leicester. We gave them the momentum, and they couldn't seize on the advantage of it. But someone like Arsenal, who are flying at the minute, they very well could, and that's not a risk I want to take, to be honest, Ali. I want the first goal.
I just think the way they couldn't do it at United, I know they were away, I just think they're just going to be way more nervous for this. They're going to be, I think it might.
They play a bit rash. They can be a bit rash, Arsenal, right, Ollie? So if you get under their skin, if you get that first goal, let's say from a set piece or something like that, you could see them kind of unfold in a certain way, the likes of the scum. Whereas with Spurs, like, I don't know, this team, even if we were to go a goal down, just don't see us falling apart in maybe the way that an Arsenal could. Like, I could see Arsenal, they go goal down, they send even more players forward. They, the line gets even higher, and you're just like, what are you doing? You're making this worse for yourselves here. And whereas with Spurs, we go a goal down, I don't know, we would play even more cautiously. We would play even more kind of, at least I'd like to think so. Whereas it's the opposite with the Lego Man. I think the Lego Man would play less cautiously if he went a goal down.
I just can't. Well, obviously it's at the Emirates. You can't take things for granted. But I just think because of the manager we have and the manager they have, we have a great chance of breaking this 12-year wait for a win there.
Yeah,
it's because it's just both, and you know what, Arsenal fans, even the two Arsenal fans I talked to in the group, they're absolutely convinced that Arteta is like the man. Like, long may it continue. It reminds me of when Ole was at United. And United fans wanted to believe that he was the man, and you just know deep down he's not at that class. He's not at that class. Like, he's not. Like, he's finished 8th twice with him. The lad in before him finished 5th and got him to a Europa League final.
Emery.
Emery, and Arteta's come in. He's been given God knows how much money, and he's finished 8th, and then 5th last year with no European football. It's underachieving. But
you know what? Let them think he's good enough. I always say to them, he's quality. He's quality. Last thing you want to do is for them to protest to get him sacked and get in someone good. So just keep pretending Arteta's the guy. Keep pretending.
I'd be a little bit worried if they got someone good in. If they got a good manager in, you'd be worried a bit. But I think because of him, I'm always confident.
Yeah,
don't be surprised if they don't make top 4. Like, seriously, I wouldn't.
I think the longer they go into that Europa League, I think the more it'll come back to affect them in the second part of the season, in my opinion. Yeah. But look, Ollie, anything else you want to say to Spurs fans before we let you go, my man?
No, that's it.
Not as nervous today. No nervousness in your voice.
I was on We Are Tottenham TV earlier. I was nervous on that. I was on it for about 5 minutes, and while I was on it, the missus and the kids walked in, and I'm like, "Oh, my family's here." But it was near the end of the show, so it's fine. But I'll get used to the coming on the YouTube as time goes by. But it can be nervy when you're on.
Definitely. You should be more nervous about your fantasy team, though, Ollie. I must say, less nervous about this. You got to get that together.
I'm on the comeback. I had a very good week this week. Got me first win.
Man.
I'll be rising up that table soon. Don't worry.
Good man. Well, the confidence will be flowing in you then. The confidence will be flowing in you.
Ollie. Well, look, Ollie, the daughter. We'll see you very, very soon.
See you soon, lads, and have a great evening.
Keep doing these fan shows, my man. We love you.
I will. I'll try and get on more. And look after yourselves, lads.
Definitely.
Ollie, come on, you Spurs. Give me a big one.
Get your better.
Louder than that. You're loud. You're better than that.
Come on, you Spurs.
That's it. Big up, Ollie. Absolutely love it. We'll see you soon, my man.
See you later, lads.
I'll see you Tuesday at the Aviv, Ollie.
Definitely. See you in a while.
See you then, my man. Big yourself up. Right, I just need to go to the toilet. I'll be back in 1 minute. But Jack, let's get on the next desk. He's
the one and only. He can handle himself around here. Certainly can handle himself around me, is what I would say. Mr. Daigle, how we doing?
What a wonderful! I'm loving these introductions I get. I'm loving them. Big up to everyone, and obviously yourself and David. Always a pleasure. How are you doing, and how's everyone in the chat doing?
All good over here. It's been good vibes today. Nice kind of casual, relaxed sort of fan show. Sort of, I guess, covering Leicester still, Brian, at the same time, getting ahead of ourselves and previewing that North London derby as we need to. And plenty to talk about, you could say. We're almost kind of in a bit of a limbo where, kind of figuring out what just happened, what Spurs just went through in terms of results, and then also trying to figure out what's about to happen. So where do you want to start?
So where I do want to start is I want to touch on something that you and Jack said, and then Ollie just said, and then obviously with Mark New.
Sorry, Brian, do you mind if I interrupt you just quickly? I forgot to do this, actually. Rob Wallace, everybody, absolute legend, gifted out some memberships, which I forgot about. And that's actually the reason even why we actually saw some debuts today is because of people like Rob Wallace and Truth Sets Free. Big up, Rob Wallace. He gifted memberships to Is Usury, Bob Coys, Dave Hamilton, Spencer Arnold, Harrison Michael. Big yourselves up, and hopefully we see you on the next fan show. And also Rob Wallace, really do appreciate it. But sorry, Brian.
Well, no, this is what I was going to say, and I'll add into that Rob Wallace and Truth Sets Free. How refreshing it is to see new people come on. And I saw Derek Smith say, obviously, bigger Matt, or it's hard for me to come on the camera. It's hard for whatever. I'll let people know now. I should have been on We Are Tottenham TV probably about 6-7 months before I actually made my debut. But every time I was in the queue, then I got into that back waiting room, and you see everyone in there. For some reason, me of all people, and people know me to be the loudmouth I am, and full of passion, full of being outspoken. I shit myself. I was like, no.
No, you're not today.
Absolutely bottled it. Absolutely bottled it. But you know what? Coming on onto these shows not only gave me an outlet to talk about Tottenham, but the things it does, like we said, through a pandemic, like David said, for your mental health. The people you get to meet, like me and Jack haven't met each other once, but I speak to you very, very often, whether it be voice calls, whether it be video calls, whether it be David, I have the pleasure of finally meeting at the Wolves game, people in the chat that I've got to meet. It can be a daunting thing to do, and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. I don't know if I'll be able to say anything or what. But once you've done it, it's the most, and you take so much of it, and it helped. Believe me, with my job when I was working for Booking.com, and public speaking was a big thing that I had to do for big delegates. The strides I took by coming on and just talking to a camera, and you guys and the 142 people that are on the camera right now, it makes such a huge difference. The people gifting those memberships for people that to be able to come on, like Martin, you did, like Derek Smith was kind of. All I would say is whether you have the camera on or camera off, only good can come out of it. Only good can come out of it because you're already part of the community within the chat and whatever. But like a lot of people don't realise the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Like if David needs to talk, or if I've needed to talk, or Jack needs to talk, it's pick up the phone, it's talk. It's not just Tottenham. I know a lot about David's private life, vice versa, but same with Jack. And it's become not just I speak to you on YouTube, how you doing? It's an actual friendship. It's actually a family. And the people gifting these memberships and taking the plunge to come on, one thing I will say is you will get addicted. Now you've done it once, you'll be like on it all the time. Like you won't be able to shut them up. You'll be like, okay, I'm going to come on. So for all the new people that have come on, big respect to you. All the people that are thinking about coming on, no matter how nervous you are, like David said, camera on, camera off, whatever's easiest for you. Come on, be part of it. It's not, we don't bite. There's no rank of who's been here longest. And like I said, David and I roughly started at precisely the same time. The same time. And like I said, I, for the first 6 times, was so nervous that I bottled it. But yes,
I'd encourage people as well. Go back and watch my first videos. Go back and watch my first appearances on We Are Tottenham TV. I'm a shadow of what I am now, you know. And you know what I will say to everybody: at the end of the day, you've got to start somewhere. And you know, there's no point of being fearful of maybe what other people might think or how you come across or anything else like that. Bite the bullet. Come on, myself, Jack, or even if it's other channels. The people that are hosting them shows will get you through it, not a problem. So take the plunge. Come on, guys.
Yeah, do you know what? One thing I will say: when I was back, whilst Bob was in hospital and I was working with Ben a bit, the back end crew actually found my very, very, very first interview for We Are Tottenham TV when I first came on. Yeah. And my God, did I tank? My God, was it bad? Oh my God! I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have bad interviews now and then, or whatever people perceive. But yeah, it's night and day. But if it hadn't have been coming on that camera, I wouldn't be as close as I am with you two. I wouldn't be as close as I am with We Are Tottenham TV. I wouldn't be at Ben's wedding. I wouldn't be able to go to games. I wouldn't know Bob. I wouldn't have known Bob Spur and flown back in. It just opens up so many doors, and especially during that pandemic where it was obviously a lot more easier to keep in connection, but more essential to keep connection. It's the greatest. If I could say the greatest things I've ever done, I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion, but for my mental health, for the stuff I do for mental health now, it's one of the best decisions easily I ever made. So don't ever be afraid of coming on and thinking what I say may not be relevant or may not be right. There's no wrong or right answer. Yeah. Look at me, king of the YouTube. When you say leave me in, leave me out, people don't agree with me. People do agree with me. People aren't, but I have my say, and people talk, and that's all it's about.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. It's your platform to have your say. So that's what it's there for. So if you're thinking about doing it, but now enough of the. I was
just going to say, well said to Rob Wallace there, Brian. You gave it an incredible plug there. Gave it an incredible plug for the fan show, and big up Rob Wallace. Appreciate your support. But Daigle, into the football. Where do you just want to go straight into Woolwich? Do you want to talk about Leicester? Where do you want to go?
No, do you know what? With Leicester, I can't remember who it was. It may have been Mark New that came on and said, "Listen, this something has been done to death. It has been done to death. Like when we have a bad result, and every single channel goes and talks about the set. This has died a death. Whether people feel, yep, we were right. So there's no wrong or right answer. The best thing is, Son came back. He scored a hat trick. All the talk of on form, it's done. It's done. It's now. How do we keep him there? What I do take from that game, and the thing I will talk about. There's a couple of other things, and a couple of things I mentioned in the chat that I did want to come on and talk about. But one of the things I think we have to take from that game is, at long last, Antonio Conte saw a problem with the 3-4-3 and said, right, I need to change it, and went 3-5-2. If you look at last season, when we were playing very, very poor at times before the end of the season run, we were all crying for him to change the formation, saying 3-4-3 doesn't work. It doesn't work because the players we had did not have the skill to be able to do it. They did not have the mentality to do it. They could, but now he's got the players where he can say, do you know what? Oh, I've got a Basuma. Let's bring him in, make it a 3-5-2. Let's change Perisic, which I don't think worked brilliantly at right back. But let's try it. He's got the trust in the players to say, right, I can change this formation now. I can change this system. I don't have to just be 3-4-3, B-4-3, and change the personnel and hope it works. We've seen now, and that was a big moment. Let's face it, that first half was schoolboy errors all over the shop. It was not a good first half performance. It was shocking, but we're able to change it, and that change brought on what we saw, which is absolutely commendable. And it makes me want to say that for a 3-4-3, well, we'll get onto the field. Let me talk about one other thing first, so I think it was Badder. I think it was Badder FC that said it, and I tweeted about it today. These pathetic rumours of Conte to Juve. What people have got to understand is, when an elite manager, which Conte is doing well in his job or is an elite manager, when an elite club such as Juventus start looking for a manager, they don't aim at the third or second or fourth tier and think. They go for the elite managers. That's what keeps them elite. So it doesn't matter if Conte was doing well, Conte was doing terrible. The links with him, of course, it's a journalist's dream. Oh, Conte's family live in Turin. Conte constantly goes over to Italy. Conte's got those links to Juventus. Conte is going to Juventus. It is bullshit. Like the journalism saying that Potter has said we're going to bid for Harry Kane and offer Tottenham Romelu Lukaku. In what world do people actually think, well, because that's written down, I believe that's going to happen. That's going to happen. It's not.
It's maybe even one of those situations where they're basically just reporting on Juventus wanting something, Brian. It's kind of like Dave and I think after this probably want a nice milkshake, perhaps, a good dinner afterwards, but it's not like it's going to get reported on and speculated about or anything. That's what it seems to be the case here, is there's really no evidence for why Conte would just all of a sudden leave right now and pack up shop and just abandon Spurs. There's really no evidence at all for it. But I guess just because Juventus want him, just because Juventus like the idea of having Conte, they're going to report about it. That's what seems to be the case.
Listen, we all know, and this is the only thing I'm going to say about this subject. If Conte was to leave, it may be after a bad transfer window, or if he's not back to the level. When Conte goes, we will know about it. Right now, Conte said he's happy. Whether you want to believe that it's all champagne and Skittles or he's took whatever, he is happy. He is there. He ain't going. He ain't going. The biggest thing is, when does he sign this contract? Does he sign this contract? And the longer time goes,
that's the thing. Look, his contract is up at the end of the year, and yes, there's room for an extension, but it's up to him to accept that extension.
Yeah.
But there was also reports there the last couple of days that he will not make any decision till after the January transfer window, which I can see why. I think, look, he's not going to be fooled by Daniel Levy, a bit like Jose Mourinho is. We got you in your 7 players in the summer.
Yep.
Now work with what we've got you. Conte understands that it has to be continuous reinforcements being brought in here every single season to be able to compete. So I think he's probably right to hold off. But look, Brian, I'll be honest with you. Look, these rumours came out last week as well, and people are very quick to dust them off, but they're not going anywhere. And at the end of the day, if Juve do sack Allegri, it's going to heat up, and I would not be surprised if they do come in for Conte. But be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, one thing you got to remember as well. I mean, as you know, people will know that I talk about our board and lack of spending and lack of whatever. Juventus are in turmoil financially, absolute turmoil. They would have to pay to sack Allegri and obviously give him a huge payout.
Same about Barcelona, though, Brian. Look at them. Look at the signs there.
You got a point there. But what I'm trying to get is, right now, there could be a big spend in January, or a spend. There's money there, and if the money isn't there, then Conte will have his say and do what he does. But as we are led to believe as a fan base, and I'm including myself in this, we're led to believe that there's money left over for transfers. Now, if you have the choice and we're still in the Champions League and he gets his transfers, do you want to stay at a place where, don't get it, the fans, we all know, we absolutely idolise him. Do you want to stay at a place where you could achieve any trophy you win, you go down in history and you're immortal for us Spurs fans? There could be potential next summer, could be, and again, we don't know, and have my feelings on this. But when you go to Juventus, who are an absolute turmoil, it's like there's no money, there's no money, there's no money. How much of an impact can Conte have setting his players in or getting his players in? So I just think, don't get me wrong, if this had been a Bayern Munich, a Barcelona, a Real Madrid that were now going fishing, then I'd be like, oh shit, this ain't going away. This is heating up. We know these clubs have money. We know these clubs will back the manager. Then I think there starts getting some weight on it. But just because of the financial turmoil that Juve are in, I just can't see it.
But this is what I'm saying, though. Like, Barcelona were supposed to be in financial turmoil. Had one of the best summer windows I've ever seen anybody have. You look at Real Madrid. They were supposed to have turmoil. They went and signed Tchouameni and other players. These clubs that are supposed to be in turmoil, they always find a way out of it. They always find money from somewhere. And that's why, and when you look at Juve, they probably have a better squad than what we have. They probably have better players, right throughout the squad than what we have. So if it's not going to be a massive fix for him. If this guy can come in here and get Sanchez, Dyer, and Davies to form a backline that, along with Romero, that can help us get to a top 4, he'll turn Juventus around. Not a problem. Not a problem. And I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss them because of this turmoil thing of financials. I've seen it time and time again the last few years. And anytime I say it, all of a sudden, that club that's supposed to be in turmoil, pull money out of their arse and go and do something.
The only thing I'd say with that, David, and you're right, I completely see where you're coming from, it's true, but the only times these seem to happen is when it's Barca and Real, who, we say Man City, they're on a club all by themselves. They can have what they want, spend what they want, do what they want.
Yeah.
Well, Real Madrid and Barca are exactly that to the Spanish government. It doesn't matter what debts that come in, how much they owe, they will get supported by the banks and whatever because of what they bring into the country. Juventus, although they are the biggest in Italy, do I think they could get away with that in Italy? I don't think they would, because obviously you've got the Milans, you've got this more than that two team. But the other thing I really wanted to talk about is obviously, and I've got with this getting people in the chat's comments as well as your thoughts would be this. Fraser Foster could be in goal for the NLD. Okay, so he could be. We don't know the extent of Hugo's injury. For me, as much as I think Fraser Foster is a more than capable goalkeeper, he has played in Old Firm derby, so he's had the atmosphere and the intensity. He's played Champions League games. I hate the thought of someone having a derby in this game. If this had been any other away game or any other home game, I wouldn't care. If you remember years ago, Hugo Lloris, when Brad Friedel was playing game after game after game after game after game, out of the blue for no reason whatsoever, Hugo Lloris, you're playing in the North London derby, got battered 5-2, in you come. This game is so unforgiving. You can either have a Danny Rose moment, which, let's face it, how many people will ever forget the way you scored a goal, but you're a youth product in the first 9 minutes score, but that's at home. Away at this game, it just worries the shit. Don't get me wrong, Fraser Foster has had great games against Arsenal
last season.
Being one of them. But it just scares the shit out of me.
I agree. I agree with you, Daigle. My concerns is
worst
more
possible scenario for a debut. Worst possible scenario.
My worries is more along the lines of a bit of rustiness more than anything. I think the guy could still be a number one somewhere. I think the mountain is what some people refer to him as. I think he's an absolute top-notch goalkeeper. And what I would say is, it's what we have, you know. And at the end of the day, for me, I'd have more faith in this guy coming in than what I would have Galini, Joe Hart, Michel Vorm. You know, this guy is a genuine number one, and I think he will come in and do a good job. But I also have my concerns about rustiness, and we will not get away with it in a North London derby. So I hear you, but at the same time, that's why we went and got better than Galini. That's why we went and improved on him, because we could have signed Galini, you know, and we didn't. We went and got Fraser Forster. So look, hopefully he comes in and does the job. I have faith, Brian. I have faith. He loves the big games, Fraser. Loves them.
That's it. Like you said, it could solely be rustiness, but this is the kind of game that if you do have a shocker or you do make a mistake, Spurs fans remember it. It's going to tarnish you. The impact it has on you as a player, whatever. Don't get me wrong. He could come on and have an absolute worldie like he's done and be the saviour. And it's like, thank God. It's just like I said, like Jack said, of all games where you want, especially a goalkeeper, well, let's face it, the communication. It's not just your performance; it's communication with your defenders that you haven't played with. It's so much more. I would rather it be away at the Etihad, away at Liverpool, away at Chelsea, just anywhere from it. Well, I mean, Jack, what's your thoughts?
I don't know. I just think it's the worst possible game for anybody to come into. I agree with you, Brian. Maybe goalkeepers are a special scenario, even in their own self. But I don't know. Like even with Basuma debuting against West Ham, like I didn't think it was even the best scenario for him there either. Like as much as he still should have took advantage of that, as much as he still should have grabbed that by the horns, like it's not an easy one to do. It's not an easy one to come into. And I mean, away at Woolwich, it's so much harder. So much harder.
But you know what?
It's just not an easy one. It's perhaps maybe the hardest one I would say to go into. Then again, it's still a debut, and there's still that possibility to have a 6 out of 10, to have an easy, solid performance. You don't need to be a hero. You don't need to be some miraculous or kind of man of the match sort of performance. Just need to have a solid performance. And I think that's fully capable. But I agree with you, Brian. At least me personally, the worst possible game to
but
do
the thing is, it's not ideal. Like, look, we know it's not ideal. But at the same time, this is what they've worked their career for. You know, Fraser Forster getting to a big club, you know, making his debut and playing the biggest games. Basuma, for instance. So, like, the journeys he's had to get to Brighton, the work and effort he put in to be able to get a move to a bigger club in the Premier League. When these guys get given these opportunities, they've got to take them. Look, some of them will get eased in, you know, where they get some of the easier games to come in and play. And some of them just get, like Jack calls, the baptism of fire. But at the end of the day, we signed you for a reason. Go out and prove why.
No, you're right. On that part, you're right. It's like I said, it's just, you know what, with this game as well, like we all know North London derbies are spicy no matter what. Last season, every gunner's a runner, blah, 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 blah. You know this one, with 1 point separating us, them being on top. I mean, the very thought, I mean, you got, first of all, remember, I'm going to be wearing the lucky shirt, so the win is guaranteed. It's pretty much guaranteed to do its magic. And then you look at it once that shirt's done its thing, to go above them on their own doorstep. There's just so much. You know, I mean, there's so many. There's normally it's a North London derby. We hate each other. Let's just go for it. Last season it was obviously to see about that top four and who gets it. Now it's whoever wins this game will be top of the league come the time this game finishes. There's so much variables on this game, and like I said, having a keeper like who said it, Fido. No, it's not ruled out yet. Do you know what? I'm kind of hoping that Spurs have actually kept him behind because they think it's fixable. They think, right, okay, we've got to monitor you, train you. You're not overexerting yourself. If you go to France, they may play you, whatever. It may have just taken.
He was sent home from France. He went out there, got a scan off the doctor, found the injury.
Oh, did he? I didn't. My bad. Yeah. I didn't even know that it went out there. I thought it was picked up at Tottenham. But yeah, let's just
not with our medical record.
Yeah, that's very, very true. So we just got to hope that obviously it's been a precaution. But the one thing I will say about this is I pray to God that we go 3 in the midfield. Every single time we go there, we get overrun in midfield. Every single time, it's just midfield, and especially the last one. Let's face it. We played 1 in the midfield because Højbjerg was running all over the place, and
Two AWOL players
and the bad boy were just roaming around what they wanted to do. Just try. I think they had their phones out and they were trying to find Pokemon during the game. That's what they were doing. But if we have 3 in the middle and we can overrun this midfield, and even though everything I was saying last week on this channel as well, by the way, I love Sonny. If we play a front 2, it doesn't matter how hot every other player is. There is only 2 players that ever play in a front 2, regardless, and that's Kane and Son. That is Kane and Son. And I think the front playing a midfield 3 will be. Arsenal won't know what to do with themselves. I really think that it's got to. I mean, I saw you did your poll yesterday, didn't you? With when you had Ben and Sean on, and I think I didn't see the final results, but it was overwhelming for 3 in the middle, wasn't it?
3-5-2. Yeah.
So, you know what? For me, I was saying this to Jack during the week. Actually, Arsenal like to condense their midfield. They like to try and get on top of that midfield, and that's their springboard. So we've got to, in my opinion, I think we'd be safer to put an extra body in there, and it'll give us a lot more balance to the game defensively and going forward. But look, Brian, we have a few more guests to get to. So
you crack on, guys.
I'm on tour, my man.
At the moment, there's a lot of stuff going on with me at the moment. So I don't know if Tottenham on Tour will do anything by Friday, but on Friday, I can confirm 100% the return of the Late Show on We Are Tottenham TV. That will be back. Obviously, we missed 2 weeks ago because of what happened to Queen Elizabeth. Last week, I've had some dramas. So next, I can confirm this Friday, we are 1 billion% back. So anyone that's in the chat now that normally watches us or hasn't watched us, We Are Tottenham TV, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 1 a.m. back home time. We will be going live with We Are the Late Show on We Are Tottenham TV, and there will be a fair few bits coming from us in the coming weeks, and a lot more shortly because I could be coming home for 5 months very, very shortly. So I will be a lot more available to do a lot more things at our times. So. Nice. So yeah, keep tuning. And I believe I'm being super sub for this channel on next Tuesday. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm up at the Aviva, so I won't be here. So it'll be you. It'll be Jack holding down the fort, and then it'll be yourself. We Are Tottenham TV and Sean. I'll be honest though, Brian, I'm not changing the thumbnail, so you may just accept not being on the thumbnail. But you're definitely deputizing for me.
You know what? It's lucky I don't have an ego or a big head or anything or
Dude, my head's the biggest on it. I intentionally my head the biggest.
I'll speak to Nick very nicely and see if he can put you on. So
don't worry about, man. No problem. That's what super subs are all about, mate. No problem at all. Like I said, just ending and you let me get the show. Like I said at the beginning, big up to Truth Sets Free. Big up to Rob Wallace. Big up to Martin who came on. And guys, listen, if you have the chance, camera or no camera, dip your toe in the water. I promise you won't regret it. And when you're on this channel or any other channel, the hosts will help you get you through it. It's all for one and one for all. And the changes it will make for you personally, as well as doing this, it far outweighs the not doing it. So I highly recommend it. But I will let everyone get on with the show. Guys, thanks for having me. Everyone in the chat, love ya. And as always, no, I'm not going to do it today. We haven't spoken about him. See you later on, guys.
It was good to see you make an appearance. It was a nice surprise, Brian. Nice surprise.
Always good, brother. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Speak to you soon, man. I'll give you a ring tomorrow. Big up, Daigle. Everyone, give Daigle a big up, guys. But look, we'll keep it moving. We're down to the last two guests of the evening. Dermotron, very nice to let P-Dubs get on ahead of him. P-Dubs, my man. Good to see you, brother. Is that a beer you're drinking?
What's up, boy? It's a long drink.
A long drink. Maybe a bit of a seltzer of some kind. Yeah, seltzer.
Seltzer, man.
There you go. Love it. Love it. Pete Dubs, though, thanks for coming on, and glad we caught you when we could. What do you want to talk about? Well, you know, we've been previewing this North London derby. We've been wrapping up Leicester. Some people have been talking about Antonio Conte perhaps going over to Juventus. There are a few things to talk about today. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on again, and you know, thanks for Dermotron for letting me make way here. But yeah, I mean,
you've got to do the robot for him. Dermot knows when people do the robot.
You know, I think we can start at Leicester. You know,
sure.
It's honestly troubling. Again, like I'll say troubling for me. Again, I'll start off a little negative, then we'll get better. But you know, it's been, what are we, 7 games into the season, 8 games?
8 games, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, have we played a complete game yet that we've been happy with the performance for 90 minutes yet?
No.
Not really yet.
Like, it's, I don't know what's going on with these guys. Like, they just, you know, they look like complete asshats for like 25 minutes. You know, like, Sanchez.
There are periods when they really fall off, right? I know what you mean.
I don't know if it's again like the focus level or whatnot, but I know it's the focus level with Sanchez. He can't. He has the attention span of a kindergartner. But the rest of the team, I just, you know, like, I have no idea what they're doing for large parts of like the first half, and then Conte just had to say, "Wake the hell up." And then they start playing in the second half. I mean, like, again,
do you get a bit tired that Conte continues to rely on these sort of halftime kind of team talks and halftime speeches to get the team going? It's becoming a bit kind of tiresome at this rate that we can. It is.
And you know, and I get all these. I got a lot of you know, different. Again, I actually don't have any Arsenal fans, which is great. You know, I don't have to hear any from that crowd. But I get a lot of crap from a lot of friends from other clubs, and they're just like, "Yo, your team's kind of shit," and I'm just like, "Yeah, in sports we are, but boy, you can't argue with the points.
Yeah,
you can't argue.
It's a conflicting spot. Yeah,
like, you know, and that's what we'll go to. I mean, like, yeah, we played bad for, I don't know, 40 minutes of that game at least, and then we go and Ndidi just, I don't know, sucks. He sucks now, I guess. I thought he was great. I think shit now, and then I'm very happy for Bentancur getting a goal. Maybe that'll spur him on. Like, I was actually hoping, like, I was like, you know what, like, maybe he's been waiting for this kind of moment, because again, like, I feel like a lot of these guys, and again, I think it was 3-5-2 guy that you were talking to earlier, where just, you guys were talking about like the pressing from pressing forward from one of these 3 midfielders. I think it's super important. Like, we need those guys to get forward. And again, like, I think Bentancur has the capability. I think even Højbjerg for as, again, I think he's severely limited going forward, but I think he has the capacity to at least, you know,
one of them's got to do it.
Make a key pass from time to time. Like, you know, and again, I know we slag off Emerson a lot. Like, and again, I think I might be in the okay, Emerson's okay right now. Again, we're gonna have to deal with him for the year, guys. Like, we're gonna have to deal with him for the year.
That's what you're gonna have to get used to him, is what I keep saying. Is
one way or the other, because I mean, Udogie, I mean, he looks a baller.
Yeah,
he does.
I just, you know, I'm very excited for next year when he comes around, and then you know, we'll sell one of. I'm assuming we're going to sell Emerson. I assume we're going to sell Emerson next year.
If he doesn't come through, I think there could be that option, especially if they're interested parties. That's for sure. I do have a quick question.
Doherty's out the door first?
Sorry?
Do you not think Doherty will be out the door first?
I think he's worthless. So no, because I don't think we're going to get anything for him.
I've said that too, Dave. I've said that too. I've actually said it's impossible to sell.
And again, I know he's Irish, David, and I apologize for my.
No, don't apologize. I don't think he's good either, my man. I don't think he's good either, so no need to apologize.
I mean,
David just didn't expect that answer. He didn't expect that answer. He doesn't get that answer. That was funny.
I'm used to watching Stephen Carr. You know what I mean? The great Stephen Carr is a right back. You know, and Matt Doherty's letting the right wing backs of Ireland down. To be honest.
I agree with you, though. There's kind of that thing with Doherty where he's already 30. He's turning 31 quite soon. He's off a big injury. Hasn't played very much recently. Not really a lot of. We've been over here with Winks before. You're not going to be paying $10 million for a guy like that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, there's, unfortunately, if he was English, we get that British tax, and I'd be sure sell him, but unfortunately he's not, and I don't think we're gonna get anything for him, so I think we're just gonna keep him, and he'll compete for places, and he'll compete for Tottenham memes, I guess, because he just he's the funny man around the club, I guess.
Definitely.
With some crap. So
a question about that midfield you were saying, if you were to do kind of the 3-5-2 and have those three midfielders, I agree with you. Like, you can't. They're all good defensive midfielders, Basuma, Bentancur, Højbjerg, but they can't all just sit there static when we do have the ball. One of them is going to have to make those kind of progressive runs forward, be that more kind of box-to-box like player. For me, I think actually Højbjerg might actually be the better one of them all, because I think he can probably hit a ball from distance. He does actually have a decent finish on him from time to time, especially maybe inside the box from what we've seen. He seems maybe the most logical player, at least in my eyes, and I could be totally wrong, to maybe ask to play that more box-to-box kind of role. Would you be comfortable having Højbjerg do that? Because that would mean then Basuma and Bentancur would be the ones kind of sitting a bit deeper.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind, and honestly, even Skip too. Like, again, Skip was on that trajectory, man. I mean, I had really high hope for Skip last, and then he got injured. Then it just then this year with that freak accident earlier in the season. I mean, I've got big. I mean, he's quick. Skip is fast, and again, and I feel like he had the ability to and the want to press forward. Like he was really trying to get at people and make some of those mistakes with the ball, but he was always trying to be aggressive with his passing going forward. And again, I think all of our guys are similar. But yeah, again, I think Højbjerg could be that guy. Again, he's already gotten a few goals since at least last January, since the end of the year. So I definitely bet for Pierre. And again,
let me ask you this. You brought up Ollie Skip, my man. I mean, with Ollie Skip, do you think he's one we're going to have to be patient with this year? Because considering he's off the back of such a long injury, it might take him time to get back up to maybe where he was before the injury. Do you think we'll have to be a bit patient with him?
Well, again, patience. There's a little room for interpretation, Dave. How many starts are we giving him before we rest or drop? Before we drop him?
What I mean by patience is that even coming off the bench and stuff like that, we're just gonna have to be. I'm not saying about starting and putting him out there for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 games and he's not performing. I'm talking about just in terms of him coming back. That even if he does come back and doesn't play well, we're still gonna have to be patient because he's had such a long injury now.
Yeah, I mean, I also think he's people said he was captain material. I don't know who said that, but I feel like that was said last year. I don't know, by Kane or one of the other defenders, maybe Dyer last year, that Skip was almost getting captain material.
Conte said it and Poch said it, didn't they? They said it'd be he's a future captain.
Future captain. No, you're right, P-Dubs.
So I mean, he deserves his time. If he needs I am absolutely willing to give at least give him to the end of the year for sure. And then again, like if at least he's not hurt. If he's not hurt again this year, right? If he is not hurt again this year and he maintains a good level, like he obviously he's going to be a big part of the squad going forward next year. And again, and we have another couple bodies in there. You have the young guys, Mr. Six Figure Sar, who hasn't gotten a look in yet. Hopefully in the FA Cup games. And again, but people gas him up. I think he's got some quality, but he's just he might be even more lean than that stickman they got at Arsenal, that Vieira guy.
I actually think that to be fair to Papa Matasar, I actually think he actually has already, I think, the physical capabilities, I think, to make it in the Premier League, because he seems to be, he doesn't look to me, or he doesn't come across to me as a guy that wants to even be playing too close to his own goal. He looks like he would even enjoy that sort of, not saying he will play this role often for us, but if we did play like that 3-5-2, he would like to play that sort of box to box role, maybe be that sort of kind of creative type, because I don't know about you, from what I've seen, he likes to run forward, and even at one stage in the preseason, he took like a 40-yard screamer attempt as well. He has some confidence in his forward game.
He looked good in those short cameos in South Korea. He was pretty good.
I'm actually happy he's sticking around, to be fair, because if he hasn't even played a real Spurs game at all, and it'd be so weird to continue to put him out on loan, and he's never even really played for the club, or never even really seen the training ground, or seen the manager or anything like that. It just seemed like the right decision to keep him around. And I don't know about you, P-Dubs, but when these kids are like 19 years old, 20 years old, like, what's the rush sometimes? It's okay to let them stay around, learn off some people, pick people's brain. Papa Matasar, he could also learn from someone like Basuma, someone who's made it in the Premier League, who has also come from Liga and made it in the Premier League. He has a similar trajectory. Papa Matasar and Basuma do. So you could just see him learning from people here.
And again, I would have welcomed Sar in that video with Yaya and Basuma. I think that would have been nice to see them all there.
Cool.
I mean, it's maybe again, I don't know Sar's background story, so I don't know if it exactly gels the same way, but like all three of those, those two guys just coming into the club, it's like, hey, like this is gonna be different. This is gonna be a different test. This is completely different gravy. I taught them it's a different level. But again, Yaya, I think is, I think you guys were touching on that earlier. Like Yaya, I think is going to be important. I think it's important to have him. Again, like these players look up to guys like that.
He picks the Champions League groups. I mean, we definitely want him.
Absolutely. We need that. We need that press.
He can also teach them so much as well in terms of, little tricks of the training midfield that'll help them get extra time on the ball, or little movements to make, where to be, to be able to get strikes off at the edge of the box like Yaya was so good at doing. Yeah. There's so much he could teach these guys and help them to develop, because he was probably, at the time when he retired, or at the time for a little period, he's probably the world's best midfielder.
I agree.
They can learn so much more.
He was untouchable.
Yeah.
Again, he was Dembele on like steroids. Like he just glide through everybody, then shoot the ball from 50. Again, Dembele just couldn't score. Yaya could score. Yaya would just, put through 40-yarders regularly.
I just think, he's just an excellent figurehead to have around, I think, that club. And I think he sort of, to me, makes players like Papa Matasar and Basuma, if they are having trouble maybe adjusting or adapting or whatever it is at Spurs, having a guy like Yaya Toure there who has embraced Tottenham, who clearly enjoys working for Tottenham, I think is a really good thing, because then he can speak with them. He can talk to them and explain and give them sort of advice or whatever it may be. And he's a guy that, like I just said, actually enjoys working for Spurs. At least from what we can tell, he really enjoys working for Spurs and being
he does.
Here. And that's a good thing for those two, in case Papa Matasar or Basuma get a little unsure.
And he's also had his turbulent periods at clubs as well, where things haven't worked out. So what he can do is pass on the information that they need to be able to get back on track, or to be able to get into the team. So I think it's good. Like even bringing Jermaine Defoe back in. Imagine what you can teach them youngsters in terms of movement, you know, and little things like that that you don't have that can be passed down through experience. I mean, I like what we're doing. It's good what we're doing.
I was gonna mention Defoe, but then you know, I'm glad you touched on him, Dave. And yeah, I think again, and even guys like I'm very happy for Ryan Mason. Like he's one of the gets the first to be hugged by Conte every goal scorer.
I feel sorry for him. Imagine how tight that grip is.
Maybe he is the one that's just being paid basically to be hugged.
Literally
on the sidelines. That's his role.
We don't take that job. You know, honestly, like I sign up, I'd pay for that.
For sure.
But yeah,
I could see you alongside the Hitman, P-Dubs. I could see you alongside the Hitman.
Exactly. I think I'd do very well. I'd even maybe get some gel in my hair too, possibly.
Good man. Good man.
I love that. But look, go on. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, I mean, we can move on to Arsenal if you guys want, and then we can wrap up. I know Derms, you guys have been on there for a while. But
say what you want to say with Arsenal.
Arsenal game. Like last year was, you know, like complete ignorance from Nuno. Like that was, you know, I mean, I think people were calling him for him to be sacked after that game. I mean, after halftime of that game. Yeah. And you know, I think it was, you know, that was when we really knew it's like this ain't your level, pal. Sorry. Yeah. Like I mean,
true.
I think did he play Winks in that game too? I can't remember.
No. I think it was Dembele, Deli, or Ndombele, Deli, and Højbjerg.
Yeah. I mean, like it's just, you know, that was again, Conte will not let these guys like come out like pussies.
Yeah,
like they did last time. I mean, they just, you know, they were scared. They let Arsenal play all over them. It's not gonna happen. Like
I do think there was a little bit of them trying to get the manager sacked as well. None of them players were happy.
Maybe.
Rarely, yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure Kane wanted, you know, but gone yesterday, you know, like. Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's the players are, again, they all believe in Conte, and all this again, like quick tangent, like the Conte to Juventus is crap. I don't believe it for a second. Like it's like this Calcio Mercato scam is needs to be put to bed. I mean, the Juventus are they're a shit show right now too. What are they, 8th in Serie A?
4th season last season.
Yep, and again, I don't know. Juventus is a complete mess, and Conte just spent freaking the last year and a half just trying to rebuild this squad, and we're almost there, guys. Like we're not there right now. We're not there. But like again, like 2 or 3 more pieces. Listen,
that's what I said.
Udogie could be the guy. Like he could be.
That's what I said to Dave too, P-Dubs. I said that to Dave, where if he were to go to Juve, I'd be like, why leave a project halfway done in the case of Spurs, like, and then go back to a project like Juve, where then you're starting all over again. I get it that his family's in Italy. I get that family means a lot to people, and we probably, someone like myself in this scenario, might be kind of undervaluing that. Maybe to Conte might not be taking that into consideration as much as I should, but I'm with you, P-Dubs, where I'm just kind of like,
man.
Why leave this project behind and then start a new one again? It seems kind of silly. It's like building a house halfway.
Yeah, I still feel like, again, and he's a professional. Like Conte's a professional, and he wants to win. You think he's gonna win with that Juventus, that crap, that pile of crap over there, that steaming pile? They're not going anywhere, guys. And they'll probably they'll be lucky to get in the Conference League next year. And again, and he's close. Like he's close with this. I at least think he's gonna stay until, again, like this year's it's you know, it's gonna be this year, and we'll at least have him next year. And then, but we seriously gotta lock down him and Kane, like this offseason. Like it has to. Like if we don't get those guarantees, then you know, like you know, I'd be open to selling somebody, and like trying to bring in that guy from Inter, that striker.
Martinez.
Yeah. But you know, again, but enough about that. That's absolute bullshit, guys. It's not gonna happen. Again, Calcio Mercato might as well just be just like shit papers. Anyway, we're going to Arsenal. again, I think you guys were talking about they're probably going to start with a 3-4-3. I mean, like the evidence suggests such. If like we're going to have the same. I think we're going to just be super, super defensive. Again, Emerson the God is playing. Sessegnon is going to play. I think, again, the same midfield, the same back three. Davey, again, if Davies is even a question mark, though, honestly, like if he's 50-50, again, Longley hasn't, again, he's been okay. Like he's an upgrade on Davies, like as it is, but like I'd like to see Longley, I think, in there, and then the boys up top.
Yeah.
Kulusevski, is it Kulusevski Kane's son for you up top?
I think so, but again, boy, like again, I'm pretty sure that is exactly they're gonna be the team, but like I want Richarlison in the North London derby, like I need it in my.
Well, you want to see him come on at some
I want
stage.
it injected. I want it injected in there because I just know this guy's gonna get Xhaka sent off. He's gonna do it. He's gonna spit in his eye, or he's gonna put his finger in his ear, and he's gonna just rile him up so much that he's gonna get Xhaka sent off. So I would actually welcome if Richarlison came in for Kulu again, I'd be okay with it.
Just for his battle capabilities. Yeah.
I'd be okay with it. I think we'll lack creativity. I'll be honest. If he comes in for Kulu, I think Kulu has proved he's undroppable.
Yeah, Kulu brings something different.
I agree with that, Dave. But again, like early in this game, we're gonna get battered for 20 minutes. We're just it's just gonna be all hands to the pump, and we're gonna get battered for 20 minutes. If we can get out of that 0-0, like boy, that's a success. If we can make it to 0-0 at halftime, that's even bigger success.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
Like if we can keep it 0-0 to like 55 minutes, and then again bring on whoever starts. Like if
we want to make them desperate. I think we want to make them desperate.
Again, like I feel like Kulu's defensive work is a little bit overlooked because he does do a good job tracking back as well. Richarlison does have a little bit more. He's a little bit more of a dog defensively. So again, I'd think I'd still go there, and just I'd let Son and Kane feed on scraps and just let them do what they do because I think Son has more talent than the entire Arsenal squad put together. So I mean, it's one of those that if we can keep it 0-0, we'll have a real good shot. I think we'll win if we can get past the 50th minute without conceding. I think we'll take it because again, like their squad's real thin. Again, I don't know like what's up with this Arsenal prop right now. Like I don't get it. Like I'll put on ESPN FC Jacked. Like those stupid little podcasts.
Stay away from there. Yeah.
Our Arsenal's title contenders. Like, what the fuck are you smoking? Like, how much?
You're like Philip P. Dubs. You're like Philip P. Dubs. So
it's like I just don't get it. Like even for us, like listen, like do I think we're gonna win title this year? No, I don't. Because we're not deep enough with quality players. We're not deep enough.
But no, we'll put them in their place. We'll put them in their place. That's for sure, P. Dubs. But we're going to finish up. Any last things to say before we let you go and we go to Dermot?
No, just again 1-0 scorer. I have to go for the win for us, and again just go on top of them for at their stadium. So that'd be great. But thanks, boys. Nice. Dave, it was great to chat to you for the first time. Jack, a pleasure as always. Big up, boys.
Brother. Thank you for coming on.
Adios.
Hope to see you for Friday or Monday. Big up, brother.
big up, Pete Dobbs. Absolute legend. Well, look, we're going to get on to the last. We've got Fazzy Rafar in the house. Big up. He says, I can see Gunners capitulate if we go from the start. No, look, I think we will look to sit in a little bit from the start. I agree with Pete Dobbs, what he was saying. I think with the home crowd, the momentum, I do think first 20 minutes we will be under the pump, to be honest with you. But look, we've got to keep it tight at the end of the day. We know Arsenal will thrive with the space, little 1-2s, the link-up plays. that they've been doing. So we've got to keep it tight. I agree with you there, Fazzy boy. Big yourself up, my man, and really appreciate the support, brother. But look,
Big up, Faz. The Lego head will overthink it. He'll overthink it. He'll find a way. But last but not least, Dermatron in the house. We're going to wrap it up with Mr. Dermatron. Good man to end off with the closer.
Big up, Dermot. Just grabbing another drink. How are you keeping?
Yeah, Gran. I swear to God, Dave, your ass must be killing you sitting on that chair.
It is.
I really feel for you. Honestly, my heart goes out to you. It really does.
I love it, Dermot. I wouldn't change it for the world, my man.
I know. I just hope you're getting your new chair. But Jack, how are you, sir? It's lovely to see you.
I'm good, Dermot. It seems like there's no chair good enough for David's buns. It seems like at this stage now.
We need to get that big throne from. That's what we need. The big throne in there. You know, the King of White Hart Lane, the crown on his head. And, you know,
maybe after that NLD, we'll look into it. Get him a throne. But Dermot, what do you want to talk about, brother? What have you been thinking about?
Look, quickly on the Leicester game. First half wasn't brilliant, but I'm so pleased for Sonny. Absolutely over the moon for him. 3 brilliant goals. I thought Bentancur as well took his goal really well. We just looked a different animal when we went to 5 in midfield. We just looked a completely different animal. And I think we need to start playing like that from now on. I think we need to start playing the 5 in midfield. It releases Sonny into a freer role that he can start doing what he does best. And I just think it changed the dynamic of the team. And I just think it helps Højbjerg. It helps Bentancur as well. You know, there's always going to be 2 people sitting back. So the third one can actually, you know, go up and support Kane and Son. And I just thought a good performance second half. Pleased for Sonny. North London derby. I have a sneaky feeling we might get a 3-1 win there, you know.
Yeah.
I just have this sneaking feeling that.
I know you would.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it why is it? Is it Spurs' attack? Is it perhaps Arsenal overthinking things? What do you think it will be?
I think Arsenal ain't as great as everyone's making them out to be. Let's be fair. They've got a Lego man leading them as manager. So he probably plays with these dew blade blocks every night when he gets home after training. I just think if we play 5 in midfield, I think we're as good as anybody in the Premier League. I just really, really do. And I think Conte will not let them believe going out that we're going to lose. He'll have it installed of them now. When they come back of international duty, we can go there, we can win. It's not like having Nuno could inspire a mouse to go and eat cheese. Conte could
the squad is so much better this time, Dermot. Kulusevski's here, Bentancur's here, Romero's here. We didn't even have Romero for that North London derby. So many players who will likely play in this upcoming one weren't playing in that away defeat.
Right. Yeah, I agree, because we're all together from last season at the Emirates. We're 100 times better. We really, really are. And I think we can go in there quite comfortable that we will remain unbeaten after that game. And though we're all hoping for a win, a point wouldn't be a bad result either. If we can take at least a point away from there, that's better than no points at all. So, you know, we're all hoping for a win. But look, at the back of my mind, I'll 3-1 win, I'm open. But if somebody said to me, we'll give you a draw, fine, I'll take it. It's a point.
I think it's just very important, Dermot, to come out unbeaten and keep that unbeaten feel and keep that unbeaten record. Yeah. You know, because when you look at it, a point away at the Emirates, a point away at Stamford Bridge, and a point away at West Ham, where notoriously, you know, West Ham over the last few years have got the better at their stadium. Chelsea, we find it hard to get any result. And same at the Emirates. So if we could take a point from that, I think it'd be a real positive going forward.
I think so too. I just think we're getting better than we were last season. We've got more points at this time now than we did last season. We've already got more points at Chelsea than we did last season. We played badly at West Ham, picked up a point, and I think we'll turn this lot over on the North London derby. I really do. I think we'll go there, we'll bust them, and we'll just head back 3 points down the Seven Sisters Road. And as for them,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, and as for them trying to call it off, I've got one word for them. That's what they are. They're chickens. They couldn't deal with it when they come to our place, and they're afraid the same thing's going to happen again. That night has scarred them.
Yeah.
So that night has scarred them mentally.
Do you think it'll scar them coming into the game and affect them negatively, or do you think they'll use it as a motivator coming into this game where they'll be intent to put on a show and beat us?
I don't think Arteta can motivate you back from the dead. Let's to be fair.
He's got light bulbs and diagrams, though, Dermot, and he plays "You Never Walk Alone" when Liverpool's coming up.
Yeah, that would put me to sleep. I would sit there and think, right, I'm going to take a quick, not 30 winks here. Wake me up when it's over. I mean, he couldn't. If he went to a 5, he'd be good at 5-year-old parties. That's what he'd be good at, doing the balloons and everything. That's what he's good at. But no, I think Conte will have them. I think this season there's something about us that's different. Mentally, it's different. We've got this never say die attitude, which we haven't had in years. So we're not afraid to go to Chelsea. We're not afraid to go to Man City. We're not afraid to go to the Emirates. They're just another team. And we're unbeaten in London derbies. When's the last time we could say that?
Well, I mean, last season, I think I was banning around stats going into every London derby. You know, I think we lost the majority of them actually last season. So that's another good turnaround, to be fair.
It is. And look, I just think this season will be special. I've said it at the start. I've said it will remain unbeaten to the World Cup. And I'll stand by that. I think we will. And I also think we're in for something special this year. And as for Conte going to Juventus, what a load of bollocks. Honest, as the great Philip Brady would say, bullshit. He won't be going anywhere. He's looking for leverage for January to get what he wants in January. Once he gets that, then he'll sign another year's contract. And he'll just sign 1 year at a time. Keep the leverage. You give me what I want, I'll sign that other year. You don't, I'm gone. So, it's a great time to be a Spurs fan. Absolutely great time to be a Spurs fan. So, long may it continue. In Conte, we very much trust.
Big up, Dermot.
Big up, Dermot. Big up, Dermot. Really appreciate that. Ellie, she says, I can't see the StreamYard link in the community section. It was supposed to be before, Dermot, lads. Yeah, no, we took it out. But Ellie, you never came into the back end, my dear. You never came into the back end. But look, I'll send you the link now, and we'll get you on. Just give me 1 second.
I can send it to her.
Okay. Jacko's on it, Ellie. Jacko's on it. We'll get you to come on with Dermotron for a few minutes.
I've worked out, right, if Dave's the king of White Hart Lane, Jack, you're the prince, so you're the next in line. So if anything happens to Dave, then you get the top job.
Jack's next in line to the throne.
Yeah.
I need a new chair then, Dermot, looks like.
Yeah, you
so
do, yeah.
This one's hurting my buns.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Back.
I'm surprised you're still sitting there, Dave. I'm surprised you're not standing or kneeling or doing something.
Buns of steel, Dermot. Buns of steel. But no, look, fucking heading into this Arsenal game, I think, look, it's going to be tough. I don't think we're going to smack them up. I do think it's going to be a close game. For me, I just think if we can cut out our defensive mistakes that we've seen in the last 2 games, and I think it's important not to go into this just being naive to them defensive mistakes either. You've got to take them on board, and they've got to improve in the North London derby. I think if we cut out them defensive mistakes, I definitely think we go on to beat them. We have to go in with that with an aim of keeping a clean sheet, cut out the mistakes, and I think we will go on. I think we can snatch a 1 or 2 nil. I don't think it's going to be a crazy scoreline by any means, but we also have to stay switched on from set pieces because they're the 2 centre-backs. I've scored a couple of goals this season.
Please don't get me. I was enjoying the show, Dave. Now you mentioned centre-backs and you're twitching me. You're trying to set me up on Sanchez.
Look, we can sit here and fluff up the stats and do whatever we want to do with them. No problem. But it's naive going into this derby game, not realising we have we have defensive issues that need to be cut out going into the Lions' Den.
There's only one thing I ask. They dropped Sanchez off somewhere in London. Tell him he has to go into London to get the lads a new hot water bottle or a new kit, right? Just leave him there. For all that's holy. If Moses and God are listening, please make him come down with with a cold that he can't play.
Do you think he will start ahead of Romero, though? Or It was interesting to see him come in for Romero and Leicester. Do you think he will start ahead of him?
No, because look at the start here. Look at the penalty he gave away against Leicester. I mean, if you're going to tackle somebody, at least do it properly. Go through the player. If you're going to give away a penalty, at least give it some justice.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think no,
you cannot injure him. If you're going to give away a penalty, fucking injure the fucker.
Yeah. I mean, you look back at that's what Ellie would tell you, and as well as I. That's what happened in the 80s. You go straight the 60s and 70s, go straight through them. Yeah. You know that's tackling.
Ellie, how confident are we about this North London derby?
How confident am I? I'm quietly confident.
Quietly.
Yeah.
No reason to be confident, but we're trying to talk ourselves into it right now, and it seems like maybe it's different circumstances, you could say, than it was last year, right?
Yeah, because we're more structured under Conte. We've got a style of play. It might not be pretty, but it's effective. And we've got our star players who can turn it on just like that. You know, like Sonny when he got his hat-trick. Bang, 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 6-2 up. You know, we've got players who can do that. Get us out of trouble. So we're very, very lucky. Very, very lucky. But having said that, Arsenal have improved. They have. We must hold our hands up and say they have. So we've got to be on our guard. And I want to see this 3-5-2 because last time we played them at the Emirates, they just walked through our midfield. And I felt so sorry for Benny and, it was Ndombele, wasn't it?
It was just Højbjerg. It was just Højbjerg on his own.
Yeah, because Ndombele weren't there.
And Delhi didn't help him either.
No, and then we have Bow on the wing, didn't we? And then we took him off.
No, last season we didn't have Bale.
That was under Jose.
Okay, so who did we have on the wing? I can't
we
even
have Lucas
remember.
And Sonny and Kane.
Yeah. Either way, we were really rubbish.
Yeah.
And I felt sorry for Højbjerg because he got the rap that day and he didn't deserve to get the rap.
Ellie, what do you think? Højbjerg always gets the rap. Anytime we play bad, it's the first name I see all the time. Højbjerg. Why do you think he gets such a bad rap?
I just think fans feel that he's slow and deliberate, but you see when he's charged through to make that goal for Sonny.
Beautiful.
They will never remember these bits, will they? They'll only remember where he steps on the ball and he's looking around for the best option. Yeah, because sometimes there's not an option, you know. So he's taking his time. He's an intelligent footballer, you know.
He even had a turn of pace to take it past Sumare in that Leicester game, Ellie, and he charged through the midfield to give that assist to Sonny for the hat trick. He does have a bit of turn of pace. He has a good touch. I think people don't see that he has a bit of technical ability.
They forget, and they just remember the bits where he was bad in. Because sometimes he does do something bad. I hold my hand up. He can give the ball away. But when he does give the ball away, he'll fight for it back. But just fans have got a thin memory, you know. But I think offensively, he's very good. And he does that for Denmark as well. Yeah.
I think he's even been better this season, kind of passing-wise and sort of delivery-wise than he was last season. I think last season, towards the end of the season, he started to show it more, maybe more of that passing range and whatnot more consistently. But I feel like this season, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put words in Dave's mouth, but I think, Dave, you might have said that you thought he was the most consistent player so far this season, or even close to the best player so far this season.
I think he's been our most consistent. I think he's probably been our best player over the last 8 games, if I'm being honest. You look at the Chelsea game, he was the best performer on that pitch. West Ham, he was probably our best performer. Southampton, I thought he was very good. What else? Fulham, he was absolutely brilliant. You know, against Leicester, he turned up. This guy's turned up in this season.
Yeah, he does. He turns up week in, week out, but people will just remember the time when he gave the ball away. They will.
And by the way, that means something coming from me that I didn't pick Harry Kane, even though he's got goals already this season. You know, for me to pick out someone like Højbjerg You know, says a lot. I think he's been phenomenal. I wouldn't go as far as saying phenomenal, but I do think he's been our most consistent player in terms of on the ball and off the ball. I think he's done a lot this season. I think he goes under the radar an awful lot. I think he gets scapegoated an awful lot as well. I don't agree with it.
I really think myself that Bentancur and Højbjerg have a good understanding. I think they actually do gel well together.
They do.
And for me, I've always been a big fan of Højbjerg. Always have done. I think he's a brilliant player, and I'm so pleased for him. He's coming consistently this season. I think he's proven a lot of fans who doubt them wrong. And I think he's sort of saying, look, I was always putting in good performances, but I needed a better midfield partner to show how good I am and a better manager to showcase what I can do.
But, like, the thing is, again, it's learn your lessons. I mean, he came out against Wolves last season. We got absolutely tried. And it's the only game that Højbjerg has been dropped for, funny enough, underneath Conte. You won't be dropping him again because he's not the problem.
No.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
He just isn't the problem. And people like to make him the problem, but that's what it is. Højbjerg, I think, is the last of our problems ever in a lot of cases.
Yeah, plus he'll have to come and see me if he drops him again.
that I would love to be a fly on the wall for. I will record that secretly. You having a go at Conte, Ellie.
Do you know what I mean? I can handle myself.
Højbjerg's got 2 goals this season as well, doesn't he?
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
He's got 2 and assisted 1, but he's pre-assisted some as well. You know, where he's been involved with the build-up play. Yeah. But I told you, fans are fickle. They only remember the times when he does something bad. They will never remember. If they've got it in for him.
Here's the thing, though, Ellie. People ask for better end product out of him. 8 games, 2 goals, 1 assist for centre midfielder. That's good end product, no?
He also has an assist in the Champions League as well. So technically, 2 goals, 2 assists as well, I believe.
Jack and Ellie have Højbjerg off here. Who knows more?
Højbjerg.
You've still got that number 5 shirt, Jack.
Oh, of course, Ellie. I wore it for the last watch along as well.
That's right.
Jack, this is the one you were alluding to, the beautiful cross versus Marseille. It was a great cross.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
I tell you one more player before we go. One more play for me is Perisic. I'm becoming a really big fan of this.
Do you know what? I'll be honest, I've been disappointed with him the last 2 games.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of him. I think he's world class, but I've been disappointed with him the last 2 games.
I think the cross he put in for Richie's goal, one of the crosses were just spot on. I mean, I did the watch along with Shamu, and Shamu's like, he really is a big Perisic fan, and I tell you, I'm really impressed with him. I've been ready, but Højbjerg deserves all the credit he gets. He deserves. He really does. He is our new general in that midfield, and he will be. He deserves that title because without him, we're not the same team.
Yeah, he's our leader.
I thought Perisic on the right didn't work.
I agree.
It just didn't work. He was like a duck out in water, you know. But having said that, he still with Perisic, right? Like you said, classes. Form is temporary, class is permanent.
Yeah.
Right? Because he'll still put in 1 or 2 fantastic crosses that lead to goals, and that's the big difference. You know.
Do you know what? The reason why I've been disappointed is I thought I would see a lot more consistency out of him.
Yeah. I just don't think he's 100% fit yet.
Do you still think he's recovering?
He runs out of puff, doesn't he? Yeah, I don't think he's quite there yet. He hasn't picked up on because in the Premiership he's very fast. You don't get time to think on the ball, right? And he's a very intelligent footballer. He needs time. He needs time to settle in. I think we won't see the best of Perisic until mid-season. That's when he's really bedded in. Yeah. But he'll still put those brilliant crosses across that will lead to goals. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah.
He still is the best crosser of the ball in the team.
Wow.
He still has had excellent set-piece delivery. He still has shown some of those elements of that world-class player, but I agree with you, Ellie. And then I also agree with Dave, where he hasn't exactly, though, been as impactful as maybe we thought he'd be by this stage, but still plenty of time and still plenty of reasons maybe why that
Yeah.
hasn't been the case. Like you just
True.
said.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, guys, what's coming up on Tottenham on tour? Or not Tottenham on tour, THFC Till I Die, sorry.
That's Brian Daigle's.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was thinking of there.
It's all right. We can give him a plug as well. He's one of our friends.
Do you know what it is, Ellie? I still have to have my dinner, and I'm starting to, my brain's not working properly now. I'm running.
I know you need your chips.
Don't start, Dave. I've got to cook mine yet as well. So I'm with you. I know how you're feeling.
I need my daily dose of the chips.
Yeah. We've got on Friday. We've got the swinging 60s. We're going to do the whole decade from 1959-60 to 69-70. We've got slides of the cup runs, the European Cup runs, the League Cup runs in the late 60s, Bill Nick's record. So we've got all that coming. We've got the 70s show. Then next Friday, we're going to go through all the 70s from the beginning to the end. Anything else, Ellie?
Just that I sent a little note to who. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Not yet, Ellie. No, not yet.
All right, I won't say it, but we might have a special person coming on, hopefully. I won't say who, but the 60s show, Dermot's worked his little whatevers off on that show, and I take my hat off to Dermot because he's going to bed at 3 or 4, 5 o'clock in the morning because of this, and
hard work, Ellie. This
is
really is doing YouTube.
I know. I did a little bit myself, but Dermot is the kingpin of putting everything together. So, yeah. But the thing is, it's going to be a great show because the 60s was our most successful part of our history, and there's a lot of people that might tune in just for the fact so that they can get some information about that period from the horse's mouth, as you can say, and we're going to try and make it interesting. We'll have a little quiz going on as well, so do tune in, guys. Yeah, it'll be epic.
We'll have all the news from the decades as well, and all the biggest hits of the decade, that 60s as well.
Yep, that's our Mark's contribution as well.
The Green Packers beat what was it? I think it was the New York Giants at American football for the first time in the 60s. So that's something we never knew. So, and a bit of Irish news from the 60s as well. Me and Philip Brady were telling people what happened in Ireland in the 60s. And please do hear first, though. Please help these guys.
Yeah. Don't mind that. Get over to THFC Till I Die.
Show the historians some love.
We're 369 away from 1,000. So look, we're getting there. So, but please hear, because these guys are the mothership for the chat for me and Ellie and Philip Brady's and Ezan's channel. These are the guys that gave me my break. So these are the mothership. So subscribe here.
Yeah, we appreciate all that you do for us, guys.
No, we appreciate
we do from the bottom of our hearts.
No, we appreciate everything that the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army do for myself and Jacko. That's what we appreciate, You guys are absolutely amazing. But guys, get over, check out THFC Till I Die. Smash the subscribe button. Let's give them a big push to the 1,000. But look, I think it's time for the big man to have some chips. I really do think so. It's coming.
Yeah, you deserve it.
I've been a few chips. I cannot wait. But guys, it's been an amazing.
Have a bit of bread and butter with it as well, David.
Do you know what, Ellie? Usually I would. I'm trying to lay off the bread at the minute.
Yeah,
so,
I know what you mean. I know.
It fattens me up, so I'm trying to lay off it while I'm out hiking, There's nothing worse than going hiking on a Sunday up a mountain and your knees are hitting off your belly. So I'm trying to let it off it. But look, guys, we're going to log out. We're going to see you back here tomorrow. And we'll probably be live after the 60 show tomorrow over on THFC Till I Die. So check that out. Then come back in and tune in here. Massive thank you to all the guests that come on and create this fan show, that make it happen. A massive thank you to everybody in the comments as well. And massive thank you to everyone for the super chats, the likes, and the subscribes. It's a massive help to the channel, so big yourselves up. And a massive thank you to Jacko as well. Guys, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you boys and green.